It's time for Twig This Week at Google. Stacy, Ant, Jeff, they're all here, and what a surprise. Android 13 is here. It's rolling out now to Pixel phones. We'll talk about some of the features. We'll also talk about Thursday Night Football. Amazon's got it. What are they going to do with it? The Rubber Ducky, watch out. Don't put that in your USB port. And Oracle is now in charge of TikTok's algorithms. It's all coming up next on Twig.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twig.
This is Twig. This Week in Google, episode 677, recorded Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. Clemson Salmon. This episode of This Week in Google is brought to you by SecureWorks. Are you ready for inevitable cyber threats? SecureWorks detects ever-changing threats and defends against them with a combination of security analytics and human intelligence. Visit secureworks.com/twit to get a free trial of Taegis XDR. And by Nomad. Go to nomadgoods.com/twig, use the promo code TWIG, and you'll get 10% off your first purchase of any Nomad accessory. They have Apple Watch straps, wireless chargers, ultra-durable cables, and more. Limited time offer. It's time for Twig, This Week in Google, the show where we talk about everything but Google. Ha-ha! Except today, we're going to throw you a curve. Ant Pruitt is here from Hands On Photography, twit.tv/hop. He's also our community manager in the Fabtabulous Club Twit. And just a great guy to have around. Hi, Ant.
Hello, sir. How you be?
You? I am wonderful. But a very, very festive mood today. I don't know why. But I am just
opposed to usual.
You seem like it. I've heard of talk of TikTok in pre-show. So
that's what it was. It cheered me up.
See, yeah.
Yeah, we were dancing to ringtones with Mr. Jeff Jarvis, the Leonard Town Professor for Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. Do they have a dance like
boss.
C-U-N-Y? C-U-N-Y.
At our football games,
Yeah, at the big football. Yeah, the big football power. CUNY. The big football power.
CUNY's stickball.
Pickleball. And here she is, the star of Pickleball, Bainbridge. Stacey Higginbotham and Stacey on IoT.com.
Pickleball historian.
Pickleball historian, Stacey Higginbotham.
Nothing to do with pickleball.
She doesn't.
Everything to do with the IoT.
You're married to pickleball. Yeah. That's the thing.
I am a pickleball widow.
Pickleball widow. Stacey on IoT.com, the website, the podcast, the IoT podcast with Kevin Toffel, and of course her newsletter, which is highly recommended to all. Google threw us a big curve yesterday. They released Android 13. What?
You were expecting 14?
We were expecting September.
Ant?
Yeah. I started with Ant.
I missed that.
I went from this way. I usually go that way, but this time I went this way. I went left to right instead of right to left.
Have I mentioned that I have a cold and apparently I'm just zoning in and out?
Okay, you missed the beginning of the show. It's okay.
Have you waffled up yet?
Pixel folks, you can now get Android 13. Roughly a month ahead of schedule, I think. Usually they release it with the Pixel release of the hardware, Pixel 7. Still don't know when that's going to be. It's not surprising because Beta 6 came out last week and it was pretty solid, and it uses, there are quite a few features. In fact, Mishaal Rahman, who is a regular on, he works at Asperio, but he's a regular on All About Android, has his Android 13 changelog, which Jeff pointed out is a 169-minute read. It is a lot of.
It is a deep dive.
Deep thing, and we could take the rest of the show and then some to talk.
Goody.
Holy cow! To talk about all this stuff. It's not. I did not get it yet. I think it's a rollout. It will go to other phones, of course, but usually Pixels get the newest version of Android way ahead of everybody else.
And you can't go back.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big part of the story. I don't remember that happening before. Maybe it did.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think so, but I'm not an Android historian, so I don't know.
I mean, you know, you could root the phone and go back, obviously, but Google gives you no way to roll back. So, should we start with the letter A?
How about we start with the letter P as in performance? Is this going to run worth a dang, or should we go to interface, user interface? Is it going to be a craptastic mess as the previous version was?
People on the...
I thought you were not bitter anymore, Ant. I thought you were happy now.
Again, the daggum hardware.
Android 13 is now officially rolling out for Google Pixel phones.
Sorry, stop making noise there. Thank you. I'm playing the 9 to 5 Google video with all the features. I wonder how long that is. That's 23 minutes, so they must move a little faster than Mishaal. But the people who have been using the beta, Ant, to answer your question, and I've been following this on Reddit, have been pretty happy with it. They say the battery life is better for the most part. They say the fingerprint reader works very nicely now. The biggest thing is, you're absolutely right, is how it looks. Material design is now throughout, and even many apps, all the app icons,
is that
everything.
A picture of
Tim Cook.
That's a picture of
Tim
Cook. So whoever this is at Android 9 to 5 Google is a traitor.
Is it a traitor or trolling?
I think he's probably trolling, don't you think? Yeah. There are a few other kind of interesting features according to 9 to 5 Google at the highest level. You can smart home controls show up on the lock screen. I know Stacy will be happy with that. You don't have to unlock your phone, for instance, to turn off your lights.
So they brought that back because they had said they moved it for security reasons.
Oh, interesting. It's optional. Users can determine whether it's enabled in the display settings. Quick settings have been reorganized. This is a look at the quick settings.
Did it have spatial audio before?
No, I think that's new. In fact, Bluetooth is
I thought
also...
that was only Apple, right?
Yeah, Bluetooth has also been updated. There's a new Bluetooth audio codec. There's a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff. I don't know, did they cover this on All About Android yesterday? Jason, did you cover it? I feel like they might not have, might have just snuck up on them. Oh, you did? Okay, they did. So if you want all the details, snuck up on me. I didn't know about it till later.
Wait, you're not watching All About Android?
I have duties at home.
A great show.
I've got to scrub the floors, set the fires up for the next morning, make sure the chamber pots are clean, that kind of thing. I'm a busy person at night. No, I missed it, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say. You can now toggle the flashlight quickly, which is great, really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a simple pleasure for someone that takes their dogs out at night.
The Android 13 Easter egg. Google continuing with that tradition. Go to Settings, About Phone. Go to the Android version and quickly tap 13. And something magical will happen.
Oh, boy.
I think one of the reasons... I'm curious why they released it, roughly a month early, or earlier than anybody expected. And I think one of the reasons might be tablets. Remember, Google has been making Android better for tablets, they say. And I'm wondering if they want to announce a tablet or others are going to announce a tablet. The taskbar has application suggestions and a drawer to access your apps and open them in split screen mode via drag and drop. Multi-window mode now on by default for all apps. So this is looking a little bit more like the new iPad multi-window operating system. Yeah, anyway, surprise, it's here. Android 13 with the August security patch is live. You can download Pixel factory images and over the air, although, again, not for everybody all at once. Get in line. Queue up. Beta program does remain open. If you are in the beta and you've been using the beta, there will be a chance to test feature drops as they come up. They now do those monthly. After those enrolled in the program get the final release, you could opt out if you go to the developer site, google.com/Android. Go to the beta section. You can opt out, and you won't have to wipe your phone again.
Oh, nice.
But do make sure you have the final version before you quit. You kind of have this window between you getting the final version of 13 and then starting the new betas, the feature drop betas. AOSP, the open source project, will get Android 13, which means that other manufacturers can start working on vetting it for their platforms, including the Samsungs, Asus, HMD, which are the Nokia phones, Motorola, OnePlus, Oppo, etc., etc. Xiaomi. So for all the deets, I think All About Android's the place to go, because there's 169 minutes of features.
Can I change my colors to be the colors that I actually want instead of these?
Nope. Got to be the wallpaper color. Sorry. Nope.
What colors do you want, Ant?
Not this, what they're calling orange, which looks like salmon. That's it's not the same. It's just not the same. They try to match it up with my image background, which has orange, because it's got a Clemson picture. But everything sort of looks like this salmon color and a little bit of magenta. Just not my thing, but had to deal with it because there's no other way to change it. It's either that or green or some crap.
So apparently, I didn't realize this. 12L I had not upgraded to 12L, but 12L had some form of spatial audio. But now they've got head tracking support. So as you move your head around, spatial audio produces immersive audio that comes from all around you. Of course, your media has to be multi-channel. On Apple's, it's Dolby Atmos encoding. I'm not sure what they're using here. Devices with an audio spatializer service may have a toggle in Bluetooth settings to enable spatial audio.
Have you used spatial audio?
I have.
And how wowie is it?
So Apple, when they rolled it out, Apple's very good at marketing. They had a playlist to show you the difference, and they had one of their DJs from their radio service come on and say, now this is what mono sounded like. And then along came stereo, and it opened it up. And so you go from mono to stereo. Oh, that's nice. But now the next wave, and they go to spatial. And it's kind of like the difference in mono and stereo. Like the soundstage gets bigger. But there's a problem with spatial audio, which is you don't really want tubas coming from behind you. We're all kind of conditioned to the idea that even at a concert or at a movie or anywhere you're listening to music, the music is in front of you.
Yes.
So stereo makes sense because now you have a sound stage in front of you with left and right. Spatial, for instance, when they do spatial audio of classical music, it still comes from in front of you. What you get in the spatial stuff is more echoes from the behind you. It gives you
the room, right?
The room feel. But then there's people with
for
pop.
VR that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, no, even for if you want a concert hall experience. But the problem is pop music and other music, which is not recorded in a concert hall. They will put the flutes up in the air or the tubas behind you and stuff. And it's just, to me, it's a little gimmicky. Maybe we're just getting used to it. They're just learning about it.
But isn't it more for like the gaming experience?
No. It's Apple's pushing all music. They're pushing all producers. Produced music in Dolby Atmos.
Oh, wow.
They've got tools to do it. So, and they're pitching it.
Like NPR podcasty people want to use it too.
Sure.
The sound of the door creaking can be over here or over there. Right?
Well, but you can do that with stereo. You only have 2 ears, and you are able to simulate
for yourself
a sound stage. I'm torn between it's gimmicky and Apple's pitching it as like first there was mono, then there was stereo, now there's spatial. It's like that big of a jump.
Quadraphonic, yeah.
Yeah, we had quadraphonic back in the day.
Dumb.
Maybe I'm just trying to think about things like if you imagine the metaverse, right? So if you imagine that you could actually be immersed in the space and look around.
Oh, you'll need it for games in metaverse. Yes, I agree.
Well, I'm just thinking like if everything becomes highly personalized and is in the virtual environment, then it might make sense to be like, look, every experience is unique. You can have this experience like everybody is playing literally just for you. I don't know. I'm just trying to think about like.
I don't at all question its usefulness in gaming. They've had it for a long time in gaming or metaverse applications where stuff is all around you. I'm thinking for music, to me, I think it's probably not as big a leap as mono to stereo. It's kind of, if done right, it's okay. But have you listened to it too, Ant? I mean, are you?
No, I haven't. But
Yeah.
I just listening to what you describe, it just makes more sense as far as how big the leap was from mono to stereo as far as music.
That was huge. And that's kind of why Apple did this whole thing. See, here's mono, here's stereo, now here's spatial. But it's not. And I went out just to try it to get Apples. I got the expensive Apple Max headphones and the AirPod Max.
Oh, wow. You're
But
fancy.
the problem with that is that's Bluetooth, and Bluetooth is highly compressed, so it's not, the music is not as good as on good headphones. So, but it does. I think it works still with regular headphones wired if you do it right, and you can hear it. You can hear it in speakers too. By the way, don't have to wear headphones to get it, and it's a little more spacious. There's a better sound stage. I think if it's done properly, it probably is an improvement. To me, it's a little. It's not gimmicky, but it's a little overhyped, perhaps. Anyway,
Thank you for the answer.
You can get it. Yeah, I over-answered, but thank you for putting it. Would you like to hear my 169-minute explanation of this? Let's see. There is now screen resolution settings in Android 13. I think that tells you a little bit about the tablet future. Lots of stuff. Lots of guest profiles. Clipboard editor overlay. I'm just looking at Mishaal's very long list.
I'm curious to see how many more Android tablets will be seen in the wild once this release happens. If it's something that's going to really harness the power of a tablet's display, will people really decide to get more interested in it beyond the iPad? Because right now it's pretty much just the Samsung devices, if that. But most of the time it's an iPad you see out there. Even at a daggum gas station, it's an iPad.
Maybe related.
Mom has
maybe
an Android tablet.
I think there's going to be a lot, and I think Google is going to announce one. Honestly, Google. Remember at I/O they were talking about, how they're going to do better support. I feel like they're angling to announce it. I'm sorry to say, not a Pixel book, Jeff. But,
Wipe the tears, Mr. Jarvis.
He already got something. We can stop feeling so sad for him.
No, feel sad for me.
Android Police says that the Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro, the phones that Google also teased at Google I/O, may have just passed through the FCC. So they're poised. They're ready for a launch sometime soon. I mentioned that in the past, Google's announced it ahead of Apple and after Apple. There is a strong rumor now that Apple's event will be September 7th. So if Google's going to announce their Pixel 7, they got a couple weeks before Apple. They got a couple weeks to do that. If they're going to do it after Apple, well, then they got a lot more.
My Nexus 7.
I missed the Nexus 7. Wasn't that great? But you know what?
And they killed the habit of it. If they'd made that continuously, I'd still have the latest Nexus 7. But now
I agree.
Yeah, but
I had life without it.
Yeah,
Granted, if it still ran Android 12, I don't know. That's a different story.
but the Pixel 7 is probably close to 7 inches. The new iPhone's going to be 6.7 inches. I bet you this is 6.7, 6.8. So you're getting your 7-inch tablet. It's just a phone.
How big is the Pixel 6?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I think it's about 6.7 inches.
Yeah, because this doesn't feel anything like my Nexus 7.
6.7 inches.
Yeah. Well, it's still different.
Those
My
little,
Nexus
that
7
0.3 inches makes all the difference, huh?
No, it was, I don't know. Bezels.
It had big bezels.
Yeah, it bezels. Yeah.
It had big bezels.
Yeah, it did.
So I'm sure that the 7 will be at least 6.7. I don't think it'll get much bigger because that seems to be the sweet spot. 6.7 inches. Anyway, see, we started with Google News.
Yeah.
So the reason, just so you know why you can't roll back to 12 is because of a security issue. Google released Android 13 today. This is 9 to 5. Google, it's a permanent upgrade. This is unusual. Android updates are usually reversible. If you could side load it, but you will have to reset the phone. I bet you could still do this, but maybe you have to root it first. This is Google says where it hosts the factory images. Warning. The Android 13 update for the Pixel 6, Pixel 6 Pro, and the Pixel 6a contains a bootloader update. That increments the anti-rollback version. After flashing an Android 13 build on these devices, you will not be able to flash older Android 12 builds.
Oh, that means you can't even sideload it, yeah?
Sounds like you can't even, yeah. Wow.
All right. This is truly irreversible.
Google says the bootloader version used previously had a security vulnerability.
Okay.
Mishaal Rahman, one of the first to bring it to our attention. Google warning reads, if this is flashed, you cannot go back to an old Android build. This is on their current version, Android 12. Your device is running a vulnerable version of the bootloader. After flashing this build, your device's anti-rollback counter will be incremented to prevent previous vulnerable versions of the bootloader from being flashed on the device in the future. Wow.
Is the bootloader part of the ASOP to where we can go to someone outside of Google to investigate whether this flaw was there or not? Or is this just Google saying, you know what, we're tired of this particular version, we're going to lock it down? Same way Apple sort of does these types of restrictions with no rhyme or reason just because they can.
The bootloader is vendor proprietary.
Okay.
So that's why, so it's not part of AOSP.
Okay.
So that's why, for instance, Samsung has done this in the past with they call it triangle, with a triangle update to prevent people from rooting and flashing alternate firmware on there. It would have a little triangle that you only had. I think you could only do it 3 times or something. I can't remember. I dimly remember the details, but various manufacturers have had modified bootloaders that would prevent you from rooting and ROMing.
Okay.
So it's up to the vendor to do the bootloader. Now, I don't know if Google provides a reference bootloader. I bet you they do. That would be pretty common. So what I'm not sure then is if the security flaw in Google's bootloader is in other bootloaders as well. It's an interesting question. So it sounds like Google is doing what Samsung used to do, which is locking down their pixels.
Yeah, I seem to remember hearing about the lockdown Samsung devices, and which is why Motorola was really popular amongst the hacker community, because their bootloader was pretty much wide open. Google
has always been agnostic on the idea of rooting your phone. So, with any operating system, there's an administrative user, there's a super user. In the Unix world, it's called root sometimes. That root user has all permissions. They can erase anything. They can do anything. It's for security reasons. You don't usually operate as root user, and in some situations, you're never given a root user. On both Windows and actually Windows, I think administrative user is a root user. I'm not sure, but I think you do have full access. On Macintosh, you have to explicitly give somebody those permissions. On Linux, you very rarely will use the root. And by the way, Android is Linux. You'll rarely use the root account except for special things. So Google's always kind of been agnostic, saying, well, if the vendor wants to allow root, we're fine with that. Android doesn't have an opinion on that. But for security reasons, it sounds like that may be changing. I don't know, Jason. What did you guys talk about that at all yesterday? All about Android's the authority on this. Absolutely. Anyway,
I think I know what my Wednesday TV viewing will be.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it, and then I'm gonna go home, and I think I'll put it on there. Oh, they didn't cover that. Yeah, I think I'll put it on. You know what? If now that you know the bootloader has a security flaw in Android 12, maybe you should get off of Android 12 and get on Android 13.
I'm like, now I feel like I don't like being the first, to do this, but I'm also like, oh, well.
I just said in the IRC that I was just going to wait on it to happen. I wasn't going to force the update, but jeez.
Well,
patching.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think Google has said emergency.
Yeah.
Let me. I have to look more at this.
Well, the person has to have physical access to
I
your
think
device
so.
in the case of.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes. So that is that's a
Good
big
point.
deal. Yeah.
I always forget to find where in the UI I check on see if there's a new version, if it'll download for me.
About phone, something like that. I think
I'm
that's what it's called.
there. I'm there.
And system update at the very bottom.
Nope, not there for me.
This is the tweet from Flawed World, a warning to AOSP developers on 6th generation Pixels, aka the Pixel 6. Ensure you flash Android 13 to both slots, because if you're there's the one that you use, and then there's kind of a backup in case something goes wrong with the first ROM. A13, if the A13 fails to boot and falls back to the A12 bootloader, your phone will be perma-bricked.
Son of a mother.
Now, I presume the official update will automatically do that. Put Android 13 in both slots. But wow,
Wait, is perma-bricked a formal word?
Is now.
It's not in Webster's, but it is certainly something.
I'm like, I've never heard that, but that is really accurate.
It's a good name, perma-bricked.
It's extra bricked.
Well,
it's like you could brick it.
I think we had to make up perma-brick because initially brick was brick, right? If something's bricked, it's a brick. You can't restore it.
Do anything with it. Yeah.
But I think there's soft bricking, and so he really want to underscore this is a permanent
the permanent nature of this.
This
Got
is a perma-brick.
Yeah, I guess soft bricking makes sense. Thinking back to the old Kindle Fire days, you could pretty much beat those things up, but still figure out a way to bring them back to life as long as you could connect to them physically with the cable. So yeah, I guess perma-brick is you're done.
Yeah. Now.
You're done,
let's wait and see what the ROMers and others come up with. So they were able to get around Samsung's triangle blocking.
Mr. Jarvis, I'm sorry, it's not about phone. It's system. And
System.
then scroll down.
I always have to go to like 4 different places. I'm always like, is it the phone? No. Is it the OS? No. Is it? Yeah.
Honestly, I usually just type in the little search feature.
Yeah.
I just type in
Can you ask Google? Can you be like, hey, G, can I update
I just put in
13?
I just put in UP and it already brought up updates.
Oh, fast. Uh-huh. And is it there?
Yeah. Well,
Yay.
no, I didn't check, but it's just if I want to check system updates, it's right
now. It's the first thing I'm going to do.
Menus.
I'm going to go home and try. Yeah, Mary Jo Foley, who has a Pixel 6 XL, said she hadn't been offered it as of this.
Mine has not been offered. Yeah. I just checked.
What do we have to do? Make a Google podcast to get it? Jeez, Google. Jeez.
You'll get it. Just be patient.
So much.
Don't
You have
rush.
to burn the appropriate dessert and call on the spirit of Andy Rubin.
It is the case that's the people who are getting the warning is people who are impatient and going over to the ROMs and downloading it and doing it themselves. Those are the ones like Flawed World who are So don't just let Google do it.
Yeah,
let go and let Google.
Google knows best.
Yeah.
Google knows best.
Google has 310 results
coming up
for the words perma-bricked. So there
are Retcon.
Retcon's doing the research. I often think of our IRC chat as kind of our research assistants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think more than our research assistants, they're really the people keeping us honest.
Okay, that too.
Yes, well said. Well said.
I might point out that a number of those results are for something you can buy called perma-brick for your walls. That's a different kind of perma-brick. Okay, so there is in fact
ballistic walls.
Did I just see
Go
ballistic?
back up.
I did see ballistic.
Yeah. That's so people can't, high security facilities can't drive through it. And they're crash resistant.
Next to was Trump's wall.
The hurricane fence. No, but look, there's perma fence, perma sound, perma wall.
I'm only getting computer results. I got 976 results, and they're all
because Google knows you, geek.
Well, that's interesting that I got when I searched for perma-brick.
All of my related searches are like. Make boot image.
The number one result for me was classic brick walls. Perma-brick from permacastwalls.com. Oh, wait a minute. Here's Perma-Tint, the leader in brick staining products. But here we go. Permabrick on XDA forums.
Noun/verb.
This is the real thing. Describes when a phone or other device has been made totally useless in a form that is unrecoverable through normal methods.
Yeah, that's
I'm searching permabricked, so I'm searching it as a verb.
Oh, that's why.
I search it as permabrick.
Search for the noun.
Permabrit is what you get after Brexit. You are permanently British.
You are
no
Brit.
chance of getting out.
Permabrit.
All right, yes. Now I get concrete for you and other exciting options.
Yes, exactly. So the bill has been signed into law.
Yeah, hey.
Inflation Reduction Act, which really doesn't have anything to do with inflation, but it's
brilliantly named.
It's a good name. Yeah.
If the other side can name death
because I
penalties, they can
already
name-
have IRAs.
You already have IRAs?
IRAs.
Oh, it is. It's IRA. isn't it?
Retirement accounts.
Yeah.
What is the IRA?
Irish Republican Army. Joe Biden signed it into law yesterday. Lots of things will be impacted. The White House did get out a list of electric vehicles that will be eligible this year for the Clean Vehicle Credit, including the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Thank you very much. The Ford F-Series, that's the Lightning transit van, Jeeps, Lincolns, Lucids, Nissans, Rivians, Volvos. Next year, BMWs, Mercedes, Nissans. But EVs that have used up their tax credits, shame on you. The 2022 Chevy Bolt EUV, the regular Bolt, the Hummer pickup, the Tesla Models 3, S, X, and Y.
Boy, it's a really weird market intervention here just because,
Yeah.
oh, gee, we rushed and we got out EVs so we can sell to the public. Oh, well, now you're kind of screwed.
There are all these rules, though. You have to have a certain amount of it. It has to be made in the U.S. or North America, I guess.
Thanks, Mansion.
You have to assemble it in North America. Yeah, there's lots of rules. But I have mixed feelings about, I'm all for battery electric vehicles, and certainly government subsidies early on made it possible, but really those were luxury vehicles.
Yep.
So the benefit went to rich people who might have bought these anyway.
I mean, what about the Prius? Every Uber driver or Lyft driver drove a Prius.
Yeah, but that's a hybrid. That's not eligible for the. These are for.
What about a Leaf?
Wait a minute. Maybe I'm wrong. Did hybrids which get credits? Maybe they did. I might be wrong.
Well, Leo, in this list, it lists only 3 models have a 2023. Is that because that's when the new restrictions come in? I'm confused.
No, I think it's just because these are the only. I don't know. 20 model year 22. Oh, it's just the model year. These are early 2023 model years. That's all. You know how the model year begins in like September. So these are the ones that have been announced. And the Leaf is in there.
What's the Volvo brand?
The Polestar, is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah. I don't see that on
I don't
here,
see
which is
no
weird.
Polestar
They surely
because it's
haven't
not
sold that
assembled
many.
it's not assembled in North America.
Oh.
Is it assembled in Sweden?
Probably. So who would you rather have a drunk Swede assemble your vehicle? I don't think so. No, I think those Polestars are actually pretty nice. It's a Swedish brand, headquartered outside Gothenburg. Vehicle production takes place in China.
Huh.
They're built in China. I can pretty much guarantee you're not going to get a credit for a vehicle built in China. Lots of other things in the IRA. That's all I have to say about that.
Are these cars still starting out at like 30 grand?
Oh, much more than that. The only one that's affordable is the Bolt, I think.
Okay.
Elon wanted to make the Model 3 $35,000. He's not got down below $45,000 as far as I know.
Like a vehicle's just expensive, right?
But they're a lot less expensive ones because the problem is the battery.
You can still get one for 15 to 20,000.
Right.
It's still a serviceable car for
the battery is a significant part of the cost. That's why. However, you save a lot of money on gasoline and maintenance and all that. We got a Chevy Bolt for close to 20 after the federal and state credits.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a nice. It's actually a really nice battery electric vehicle. Good range. Sure, a few of them have blown up, but that's
It's just a risk you have to take, man.
It's just
Skip over that. Salesman.
Yeah. Eric Duckman says he saw
Kia Electric looks nice to me.
They're nice. Kids are very nice.
Road.
Yeah, I like them.
Nice.
There's also the Ionics. There's quite a few really nice and thanks to Elon and Tesla for making that market really take off. I think they really did make that. And the feds and their subsidies definitely helped. But there are very many inexpensive BEVs, battery electric vehicles, because of that.
Would you get a Rivian?
Yeah, they're cute. We did a Bull Salmon, our car guy, did a review comparing the Lightning to the Rivian. And Lightning's the Ford F-150. The Rivian is this new R1T from a company called Rivian, and he liked them both. There's some, Ford's made a lot of trucks in their time, a lot of F-150s, so he thinks they're probably a better truck for little convenience reasons as much as anything else. I think he liked the Lightning. But it's
can
good
power a dadgum house with that thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. In theory, any car, any electric vehicle can. You need an inverter for the battery. The Lightning comes with it built in, but you can always get an inverter for your battery and plug your electric vehicle in and power your house. In fact, my house is powered by 2 recycled Tesla batteries.
Nice.
The cheapest electric vehicles out there are indeed the Chevy Bolt. I keep wanting to say it. I'm like, not Volt, say Bolt. That's $26,500, and then the Leaf is $28,900, and then we get into
Leaf
30th.
still
the
qualifies.
Mini Cooper.
Yeah. The only reason the Chevy
the
Bolt does not is because they've sold more than 200,000 of them. I mean, that's that's the same thing for the Tesla. They've sold enough that they're no longer subsidized.
And when you get into these mid-range ones, they're kind of terrible. Like the Mini Cooper for $30,000, it only goes 114 miles. That's its range.
Yeah, that's what Lisa drives.
The Mazda's 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, these kind of suck.
Pepper.
She loves it, but we have a longer range vehicle, obviously, because that you could barely get to the airport and back, so it's not ideal.
What do you find if you're? Have you gone on overnight trips and things where you've got to find some place to charge?
No problem. Yeah, we went down to Carmel. There's chargers everywhere. There is an issue, and I just saw an article about it. There is an issue with, unfortunately, a lot of the electric chargers are unmonitored. Not like a gas station where there's somebody there. And so
but there.
And yeah, they're grumpy, but they're there. And there are a lot of gas vehicle drivers who don't like electric, who will these get vandalized and damaged frequently. And so it's a little disappointing. You've got a map. It says there's a charger here. You get there and they're out of commission because somebody's torn them off or something. But they are everywhere. When we went to Carmel, we found a charge point. I had to leave the car there overnight. It wasn't a fast charger, but it's fine. Parked it there, charged it.
How far away was it from the hotel?
A couple of blocks. Many hotels now have them.
For destination.
All right, here's another
question
for you. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say we were in Portland and we could destination charge at the
hotel. Yeah.
So Newark Airport parking has slots. And let's say you're going away for a week.
Yes.
And you park in that slot.
No, you can't.
You're monopolizing it for a week, right?
Yeah. They'll charge you.
So there was in Austin, there was a park and ride. It wasn't a park and ride, but whatever. They had those slots and you just book those slots and you could stay there for the whole time.
That's nice. But the ones in the parking lot and the long-term parking at the airports, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Maybe it's for people on an overnight trip. I don't get it. Because if you're gone a week, you're going to leave it plugged in for a week, or does your wife come unplug it and move?
Are you charged for the time it's plugged in, or are you charged for the electricity that you download?
Most of those, they charge you while you're charging for the electricity. Then you get like an hour grace period, and then they start charging you for parking there.
Well, wow.
Which is not ideal.
Well, maybe they just charge you at the normal overnight rate there, though.
Yeah, I don't. I have to really look into it. Oakland Airport has them. The nice thing is they're right by the terminal, so you could just whiz in, pull in, charge it, and then. But I think it's not right to do that. By the way, the credit also. Right. I think it's not right. The credit also applies to used battery electric vehicles. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to jumpstart that market, so to speak. And I think that's good. All right. I think we've said enough about the IRA. Actually, there's lots more to say, but I think that's the...
Oh, do you want a quick thing?
Go ahead, Stacy.
Go ahead.
I'm super excited because it offers residential tax breaks for residential upgrades for things like demand response. And I'm really hopeful we'll see, one, the adoption of like more heat pumps and things like that, but also much more intelligence being put into like the end nodes of the grid so we can start coordinating between those two better. So I was excited about that.
$80 billion in rebates, as much as $14,000 in money back, helping households pay for green energy upgrades, including efficient heat pumps. You can get $8,000 back per household, which is great. I've been wanting to replace my furnaces with a heat pump. Much more efficient, right, Stacy?
So much more efficient. And like you don't have heating oil deliveries, and that's disgusting anyway. I will tell you, though, you're going to have a fee for decommissioning your heating oil tank if you formally decommission it.
We have gas furnaces, natural gas furnaces, so that won't be such a big deal. Electric water heaters, you can get money for that if you have a gas heater, and electric cooktops. We've been wanting to buy an induction.
Get conduction.
Induction, not conduction.
Induction. Well, I've had it now for...
Do you love it?
I love it. I really do.
Last year, right?
Yeah, well, was it last year? Early this year? January? I don't know. Yeah, it's awesome. Like, yes, I had to relearn how to cook rice on it, but that's okay. You have to do that for every new stove. It, like, you just clean it, like, a minute after. Like, it doesn't get hot.
And the pots are cleaner, easier to clean?
I don't know about that. If you've got stainless steel, I mean, you do have to replace all your pots. It's expensive. But it's a great cooking experience, and it's so exact. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Can I recommend on Line 97, Hank Green did a really, really good explainer of the IRA.
Oh, thank you, Hank Green.
So,
should we watch the whole thing?
You can just watch a minute of it.
I don't think we can watch any of it.
Because we'll get taken down by Hank Green?
I can share. There was Bloomberg
famous last words.
A lovely graphic.
We had I put 8 seconds of Colbert. Was it Colbert? Who was it? No, it was Colbert in Twit. And pardon me? It was his Severance. It was a clip of his parody of Severance. Put this much in it. And I chickened out at the end because Lisa said, we only have maybe 5,000 to 7,000 downloads of the show on YouTube, but we're right on the edge of deliverables. And if we lose those 7,000, we might have to do make goods for every ad on Twitch. Should be a lot of money. And so I chickened out, even though I know I have every right to do it. It was commentary. It was transformational. It promoted his show. It didn't cost him in every respect, it was, of course, perfectly okay. It was news coverage. But I chickened out. So I'm not playing no Hank Green.
I appreciate that.
Hank's so nice. Is that up to each creator as to whether or not they go after you? Or is that YouTube now?
No, it's the creators.
Other people, though, can do it on their behalf, can't they?
Yeah,
they
yeah.
File.
Oh, yeah. And the Content ID, Hank Green, I don't know if Hank Green uses Content ID. He might. I don't know. Do you know he doesn't?
I'm going to go on Twitter and ask him.
Ask him. Hank, can we have permission to show the biggest climate bill of your life, but what does it do? No, because we're going to make our own dang content. We're not going to...
But our content isn't actually researched. Like, I haven't finished reading the IRA, even though I am reading it.
Homeowners can receive a 30% credit for installing solar panels. There will be substantial tax credits to transition to clean energy. We mentioned electric vehicles. It'll make it easy for families to actually make these clean energy changes. Families who use funding from the bill to switch to greener technology could save money as well on energy costs, up to, according to Rewiring America, $1,840 a year. So there you go. You're going to get faster tax refunds because the IRS is going to hire new agents. Prescription medication. We know about that. For seniors only. The rest of you, sorry. But Medicare is going to get to negotiate drug prices, which has been a huge issue. We did, I'm sure, talk about the insulin issue. Lower prices on other items, maybe eventually. Economists say it's unlikely the Inflation Reduction Act will reduce inflation, at least anytime soon. Maybe 0.1 percentage points in about 5 years, according to Wharton.
It was still brilliant positioning.
It's a very good name. But a lot of things that I think, it's really, it's stuff that is forward thinking, especially with climate change breathing down our necks. I think it's good.
Hank was quite enthusiastic.
About us playing it?
No, he hasn't answered yet. He was quite enthusiastic about he was arguing that this is a big deal, folks. It really is the biggest environmental bill we've had. It's really going to make an impact. People have been working really hard. Finally, we see a little daylight. I don't think that's the wrong word.
See, we didn't have to play it. Just summarize it.
You got my interpretation of Hank.
Summarize it. Can you do an interpretive dance to the... Tell you what, we'll save that for later.
We'll save that, yes.
I was about to say, what?
You'll find out, Stacey.
You'll
find out in TikTok Corner.
Dear.
Hey, you're going to thank me. I guarantee you're going to thank me.
All right.
Our show today
Sounds
brought
like
to you
Mattress
by...
Mac right there.
Hey, it's better than Pillow Mike.
Oh, wait, no, it's not. No, it's who is the guy at the Men's Warehouse? You're going to like the way
You're going to like the way you feel. Mattress Mike. Who's Mattress Mike? Is that a local Seattle?
No, it's Mattress Mac. He's a Houston furniture salesman.
Houston.
But yeah, I don't... George Zimmerman. Was that his name? The Men's Warehouse dude?
Yeah, and then he got fired for some reason.
They didn't like the way
they pushed him out. You're going to hate the way I run this company. By the way, Mattress Mac, well, I'll let him tell you the story.
Well, very disappointing game. I'm heartbroken that our great customers who bought mattresses and power furniture didn't get their money back. I thought the Bengals going to win all the way up to the very end, but
he lost $5 million
great contest
on the Super Bowl.
I'm heartbroken for our customers. Cincinnati didn't win.
Why is he heartbroken for the customers? He's the one who lost $5 million.
I guess they were going to get their stuff for free.
Popular Houstonian and furniture guru Jim Mattress Mac McInvale is now out a large amount of cash after he bet on the losing team for Super Bowl 56. And our customers are the losers because we're going to raise prices on everything.
Oh, no. Mattress Mac. No, he's a good dude.
He's a good man.
Is this the guy who has people in during the floods?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
this man, trust.
He also has beautiful. Well, I'll let him tell you the story.
Beautiful bedroom furniture at reasonable prices. You looked all over Houston.
If you grew up in Houston from the 1980s until now, you're going to know who Gallery Furniture is.
Is that him right there?
Really will save
I'll bet you Mac
That's
is
his
going to take
catchline.
you
Let him do his
down.
catchline.
Will save you money.
You're going to know that's Mattress.
I like his tight pants.
Yeah,
There's a little dated.
You're going to know that's Mattress Mac.
If your mattress is older than 10 years old.
If you live in Houston, you 100% know who Mattress Mac is.
I can't believe. Oh, my
That's
God.
awesome.
Now we're going to get taken down by Mattress Mac.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
The man
You
is
don't
a
trust
little
Hank
legend.
Green, but you
Do
trust
that to
Mattress
you.
Mac?
No, Mattress. And he used to visit schools for the Dare program. You can tell when I grew up, but he
But hey, did you do drugs?
genuinely community oriented, nice dude.
You just said no, right? You didn't do drugs.
Yes. What? What? No.
Isn't that what Dare was all about? Dare
That
not
was
to
what
do
Dare
drugs.
was all about.
Yeah.
Dare to, yeah.
Yeah. Dare to just say no. All right, let's take a break.
Show you all the things, kids, you probably didn't know about yet, but now you do.
What happened to the war on
That
drugs?
is true. That's how I learned about a lot of drugs when I was in fourth grade.
Did we just lose the war on drugs and give up? Did we just walk away?
Like the war on COVID.
Wasn't that Nancy Reagan's thing? I thought that was one of her
say no.
things.
Wow.
Just say
Chuck Norris did some ads for Gallery Furniture in 1992. How about
It's
that?
semi-encouraged in San
There's
Francisco.
a new book out about Crazy Eddie.
Oh, Crazy Eddie!
Yeah, so Mattress Mac was like Crazy Eddie.
Yeah. Or we had Top of the Hill Daily City. We had, what was his name?
Oh.
I guess every region probably has their huckster that buys so much ad time on radio and TV that, you know, he's a celebrity.
Well, now you probably don't have it because we don't have like local TV.
Yeah, it changes, doesn't it?
Streaming.
You know, instead what we have, you know what's driving me absolutely up the wall now? I have to mute the TV at every break on MSNBC not to see the Lumi lady putting this weird deodorant in your butt cheeks.
What?
What?
Oh, she just. I think what's happening is they're buying tons of time on Verizon, not on MSNBC.
Yeah, I think it's a New Jersey ad because I think I'd remember that if I'd seen it.
It's disgusting. It's completely. She's trying to convince women they all smell bad and they should put this stuff in their butt cheeks.
Wow.
I can't stand it.
It's like butt deodorant. Hold on. I don't want to Google this, but
no, stop right now. Don't, no, please.
Lume. Oh my gosh. Yes. If you Google that, Lume stops odor naturally. Oh my God. Below the waist deodorant. Oh, Manscaped also offers one. Oh my God.
The commercial is made like she's doing it just to a phone because it's a vertical. And then she shows you the little dabadoo, a little dabble-doo-ya in your butt cheeks.
Oh my God!
If you need a better car, go see Cal.
He was trying to change the
best deal by far, go see Cal.
Okay, but I want you to know there's another one called Sweet Cheeks. And that's a much better name.
I tried. I really tried. Folks, you know I tried. Did you watch?
Have you read our ad yet?
Did you watch the end of Better Call Saul yesterday, Monday?
No, I didn't watch the beginning.
What? Great show.
No, because it was you got to commit, and I didn't commit, and so it was always too late to commit.
It's not too late. It's gonna, you can watch all. So let's see.
Is Stacey aghast or gagging herself or yawning? I can't tell what she was doing.
6 years of Breaking Bad, and then 8 years of Better Call Saul. 15 years making this Heisenberg universe.
This is a prequel. So this is all before?
No. It's both. It's a prequel and a postquel.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's very confusing. But the reason I thought about this is because he became famous for his ads on local Albuquerque TV for Saul Goodman. He's a lawyer.
Fictionally, yes.
Fictionally. Well, and they were completely a parody of all these other ads. They were hysterical. Yeah. Anyway, it's over now. Beautiful, beautiful show. So our show today brought to you by SecureWorks. Let me talk about SecureWorks a little bit. If you think about it, the biggest risk to your company is not knocking on your door. It's the prowler who's already inside. Like an intruder in your home who's sneaking around, eating your food, watching your Netflix, sleeping in the basement. Wouldn't that be the worst, to have an intruder in your IT infrastructure? Think of the damage they could do, how many passwords they could compromise, the documents they could steal, how many systems they could damage or degrade. Threat actors often hide in plain sight in IT systems, and on average, more than 200 days before they're detected. 6 months before they're detected. And I can tell you story after story. Remember the hacker who got into the Sony Pictures Entertainment was there from May through December before Sony noticed. Meantime, they exfiltrate all the movies, the contracts, and then they trigger ransomware as just a kind of a final farewell. What happens when stopping at the endpoint is stopping your ability to properly defend your infrastructure? Then you need SecureWorks and their Taegis Extended Detection and Response, XDR. It's great to have a perimeter defense, but when people get in, and they will get in, you need to have more. You need a comprehensive and effective security posture with one unified singular point of view, giving you visibility throughout your entire stack. Taegis XDR is extensible. It follows data moving beyond the perimeter. It helps organizations unify prevention, detection, and response, and completely mitigates this issue of siloed security solutions. It's probably what you have right now. You've got endpoints, you've got perimeters, you've got maybe you're going through email protection, but that leaves coverage gaps. And of course, what's going to happen? Bad guys are going to take advantage of them. By organizing multiple point solutions and creating one unified and clear picture of your infrastructure, Taegis XDR helps teams prevent threats effectively, detects them rapidly, and most importantly, respond appropriately quickly. SecureWorks meets customers where they are with managed XDR. A lot of you might have a big IT team and you can manage it yourself, but many of us are too small to do that. SecureWorks offers a SaaS solution that can leverage their own in-house experts 24/7, 365 days a year, so they can help you. They can investigate and respond to threats on your behalf, which cuts dwell times, decreases operational burden, reduces your cost. So if you've got a big team, fine, you can manage XDR by yourself, but there is also a managed XDR solution for you. And since most companies have a shortage of security talent, this is something you'll also want to look at. Let me give you a number. Even if you're not a SecureWorks customer, write this down. Put it on a Post-it note. 1-800-BREACHED. It's easy to remember, right? 1-800-BREACHED, breached. If you're a SecureWorks customer, even if you're not, you can get fast emergency response with chat, including incident commanders who will find the root cause while preparing you for future threats. They leap into action. It's like 911 for advanced persistent threats. When your organization experiences a breach or a cyber attack, time is of the essence. You can't fuss around. What do we do? Oh, I don't know. Where are they? Who knows? What are we gonna? No, every minute counts. Call 1-800-BREACHED, and SecureWorks Emergency Incident Response Team will provide you with immediate assistance responding to and remediating a cyber incident or data breach. And they can do it any time of the day or night, any day of the year. They're there for you. 1-800-BREACHED. SecureWorks. They offer a purpose-built XDR solution designed to answer today's evolving security challenges. Optimized by machine learning, sure, but, and yes, deep detection capabilities, but refined through human intelligence and insights earned over decades of experience. Now, that's a perfect marriage. That's a perfect marriage. The software is smart. It's got deep detection capabilities, but you've also got these experts who've got intuition, who've got knowledge, who know what to do to help you. They're there for you. Gartner, Forrester, and IDC, all three have declared SecureWorks a leader in security operations. SecureWorks empowers organizations with the collaborative and innovative security solutions required to achieve strong security in an evolving digital world. Learn more about the ways today's threat environment is evolving, is changing, the risks it presents to your organization. SecureWorks has case studies. They've got reports from their counter threat unit. This is what's cool about SecureWorks. All these experts, and they're working all the time to find out what's going on, what are the newest threats, and then they report at the counter threat unit. And I think this is so useful. Visit secureworks.com/twit. You can get right now a free trial of Taegis XDR and learn more about all of this. And don't forget 1-800-BREACHED. That's a great thing to have to hand. Pull it up, put it in your wallet. Secureworks.com/twit. SecureWorks, defending every corner of cyberspace. Secureworks.com/twit. Please use that address when you go there so they know you saw it here. Secureworks.com/twit. Amazon and Nielsen, this is interesting, have made a deal to get ratings for Thursday Night Football. Amazon this year will own NFL's Thursday Night Football. Traditionally, streamers do not have ratings, right? In fact, this came up on MacBreak Weekly last week because Ben Stiller, who created Severance, and two of the stars of another Apple TV show, its most popular, Ted Lasso, all said, we have no idea if anybody's watching.
I find this, I mean, I know that there's not a third-party audit.
There's no auditing.
You've got IP addresses.
Apple knows. But that's the point. Like, they're not telling anybody. It's proprietary.
But in this case, Amazon is the one who's asking for ratings when Amazon knows. Amazon may want to be audited, but Amazon knows exactly how many.
Well, no, because there's also over-the-air stations. There's other. It's also viewed in bars and restaurants. It's not just streamed.
So it's public place too.
It's all but this is a big deal because historically, and we know this, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, they don't want to, even Netflix, they never say numbers.
No.
They will never say numbers. They don't want,
right,
for whatever reason. Jeff,
but in this
TV
case, Amazon is the one
critic.
asking for it, doing the deal.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Amazon could just reveal their numbers.
I think this is pressure from the advertisers would be my guess.
But didn't Nielsen have pretty much a solid name?
Yeah, Nielsen's been doing TV measurements for time immemorial. There's two companies that do TV.
You're right. There's been some kind of scandals around that. But the weird thing about Nielsen is it's sampling.
Right.
Okay.
So
they do people meters.
They have people meters and that kind of stuff. So they only this is the problem with small niche things is the odds that the one person who's sampling in Montana is watching your show, speaking for all of Montana and the statistics are pretty low in a time of abundant choice.
Right. Nielsen said this will be the first time they'll be doing measurements on both a streaming service and a live streaming program. I guess
you just said the same thing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm reading. This was TechCrunch. Nielsen said this will be the first time the firm will include a streaming service and its live streaming program in its national TV measurement service. I guess it's the first time they've ever done for streaming. So is Thursday night, I guess, tell me, chat room, is Thursday Night Football going to be on TV as well? Or is it just on Amazon?
It used to only
Last
be
year it was on
NFL
both.
Network.
Yeah.
It used to only be on NFL Network exclusively. It wasn't something that ESPN would pick up. It was just the NFL Network.
And then they split
it was able to be available on Prime Video and NFL Network.
I don't think NFL's got it anymore. I think it's just Amazon.
That's what it reads.
Because remember, Amazon did this, big deal. They got Al Michaels to come over from broadcast.
And Kirk Herbstreit, I believe.
Yeah. And then there was a big, who's going to be number 2 with Al Michaels? And Al had a lot of say in it because he didn't want to work with a doofus. And I guess Herb was good for Al. Kirk Herbstreit. Or Herb Kirkstreet. Whoever was just exactly who Al wanted. Out-of-home viewing refers to bars, restaurants, and hotels. Anyway, it's interesting. You're right, Jeff. I mean, that was my thought is, well, doesn't Amazon already know exactly? And there's no broadcast TV. So for some reason, Nielsen's streaming TV charts now include Apple TV Plus for the first time. Okay, so that started in October of last year.
So to answer your earlier question, I'm trying to look up everything that's behind a paywall. But there were accusations that Nielsen was underreporting viewership numbers, which is always the complaint of networks.
Yeah.
Right?
That can't possibly be that low. I know more people were watching. Right. Which probably means Nielsen was accurate. But
if no one believed it, why would they trust them, years later, especially if they were getting it wrong? And you're right, it's the only name in town. I guess that's the only reason they were trusted.
They've been up for sale and more. I was on the original committee for the Audit Bureau of Circulations.
For magazines.
And they thought that advertisers would want an audit of the total audience of a magazine, which of course they didn't, because no longer was it presumed that one person read the entire magazine and saw every ad. So all they wanted was an audit of their flight of ads that was served. And for example, GM in the early days very early days of the web said, you ain't serving our ads, we're serving our ads ourselves, so we know what gets served.
Here's what Amazon said. Our collaboration with Nielsen will allow us to provide advertisers with familiar campaign measurements to make apple-to-apple comparisons. So this is exactly what I thought, which is advertisers are saying, yeah, streamers, you tell us how many downloads, how many IP addresses, but we want to know the same. Third party. We want to know those numbers. Yeah, first of all, trusted third party, right? Because we have the same problem in podcasting. We want a trusted third party, and we want those numbers to be the same kind of numbers we get from the networks. Share and ratings and a dominant area of dominant influence and all that stuff.
But in a panel, podcasts could never show up. Because the odds of a panel member having watched in the period or listened.
This was a problem at Tech TV because we were on cable and we got ratings, but the number of people who watched, the number of people who were on a panel or had people meters, it's a statistical sample, right? So they only give them to, I don't know how many, 1,000 people or something, and that represents millions of people nationwide. The problem is when a network audience is so low that one or two people represent the entire audience in that 1,000-person panel. If one of those people gets sick or goes to the bathroom or dies, your audience just got cut in half. So that's the problem. When you're really small, the ratings are terrible because it's impossible. It doesn't work. The
whole panel system doesn't work.
Yeah.
By the way, update here. Hank Green responds, I think you should be good.
Yeah, I'm not going on. I think you should be good. Well, doesn't he know?
That's not a yes or a no.
Try it and see, is what they say.
You gotta trust Hank.
I think you should be good.
I need a yes or a no.
I ain't playing it. Sorry.
You played the mattress guy. You won't play Hank. Jeez.
Do you think we'll get taken down because I played Mattress Mike?
I don't know.
Well, you played a show about him. That's what was going
Mattress Mac. Mattress Mac.
He's gonna take.
You're gonna get taken down because you misnamed him.
I don't know if Mattress Mac is on. He's watching. I don't know.
Oh, here's how they're going to do it. They're not going to do. Nielsen will rely on a panel of 42,000 homes that it uses to measure traditional broadcast and cable channels.
It's ridiculous.
Initially, this is going to be terrible. Nielsen will primarily measure Amazon viewers on TV sets. The very fact that they use the phrase TV sets sounds like the 50s. I am going to go home and watch the game on my TV set.
Can you touch those great Amazon rabbit ears we got on that TV? Boy, Jeff gave us a great set of rabbit ears.
Was it UHF or VHF?
Nielsen will also track audiences on mobile phones, tablets, and laptops. Amazon will also provide advertisers with its own viewing data,
which will show what BS Nielsen is.
That's going to be interesting.
But what's interesting about this is how much of an advertising company Amazon now is.
Oh, yeah.
Its advertising revenue is bigger than the revenue of the entire magazine industry.
But think about this. They spent for Thursday Night Football $1.2 billion a season for 11 seasons. They spent big bucks. So they're going to count somewhat on advertising revenue. I think Amazon probably feels like it's also a benefit to Amazon Prime and so forth. But I think they want to recoup some of that.
Can you a la carte stream just the football, or are you only for Prime, or is it free with Prime? What's the deal?
Oh, I don't know.
It's free with Prime Video. Excuse me.
I don't think you could just buy the I don't know.
Exclusively on Prime.
I've watched it on Prime. I've watched it on Prime Video, and I've not spent anything extra.
Yeah, no, it came with Prime last year. But remember, they were sharing it with, let me see.
Oh, that's right. They were sharing it with NFL.
It says included with Prime.
Prime Video is the exclusive home of Thursday Night Football beginning in 2022. 15 regular season games. They spent almost $1 billion a game starting September 15th. All are included with Prime.
Seasons.
And yes, you have, $1.2 billion a year for 11 years.
Right. Doesn't come down to $1.2 billion a game.
Well, 1.2. Oh, you're right. Never mind. I meant 100 million a game. You're right.
Leo math.
I didn't divide right. It's $1.2 billion for 15 games. So it's like 90 million or something a game.
Slight difference.
900
The
million.
thing is, though,
million.
those Thursday night games are usually pretty highly rated.
Are they?
Yeah. They're hardly ever duds of football games.
For a while. I don't know why. This was the game where they would wear neon uniforms.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They do the whole colorway uniforms. Each team would have a special Thursday colorway uniform. But the games are usually pretty entertaining.
Ant is like the only normal person in a whole world.
This panel.
Well, he knows who Herb Kirk Street is, and I have to give him credit for that.
Herb Street.
I'm going to campaign to get him renamed. If Al Michaels, even once in those 15 games, calls him Herb Street, I'm going to be very happy. Well, you know, Herb. Every Thursday night football game has multiple broadcasts options. Well, there's a typo right there. Good job, Amazon. Multiple broadcasts options to choose from. Whether it's the primary broadcast featuring Al Michaels and Herb Kirkstreet, an alternate stream such as TNF with Dude Perfect, or TNF in Espanol. Okay. Each presentation of TNF on Prime Video offers a different set of alternate streams. They did that last year too. Like they would have Peyton Manning and Eli Manning doing the play-by-play of the game. And it was horrible.
Can they have football for dummies too?
Dude Perfect. I think he might be the guy. He's your guy.
Really?
I don't know who's Dude
If
Perfect.
he's a perfect dude, I think he's so dude. You don't explain anything to you, because if you were a dude you wouldn't need explanation. You're perfect.
It's an American sports and comedy group. Tyler, Tony, twins Cory and Kobe Cotton, Garrett Hilbert, and Cody Jones, former college roommates at Texas A&M, baby.
That's different.
Oh,
that's a different school.
That is not a school that I'm excited about. But okay.
That's not the eyes of Texas are upon you? Okay.
No, that's
like our arch rival, I think.
Okay. DudePerfect.com.
Aggies, for God's sakes.
So they do, that's right, that's the Aggies. So they do trick shots.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be
really
great
on YouTube.
That'll be great for hosting. So this is what they do. They do, this is what Amazon's doing. They're trying to get younger people to watch football, right? So they get these YouTube stars doing it or something. Yeah, my son probably knows.
Dude Perfect was featured in, I think they were featured in the Super Bowl last year.
Oh, really?
In LA. They came out and did an event with, you know how they have those cannons to shoot.
He has a pickleball racket.
The stands. They made another modified cannon. It's big enough to shoot up to the top level of the stadium.
Jeez Louise. And apparently you can go on a cruise with them.
That's a sure way to get COVID.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. We should have said that about 2 months ago.
I did.
Anyway,
none of us were excited about cruise thoughts.
None of you thought that this would end well. And Meta has just decided to do. Maybe we should turn that switch, flip that switch on end-to-end encryption on Messenger. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did ask that last week.
Yeah.
Someone in Discord asked that.
They flipped the switch. After, of course, that horrible story about the mother and daughter getting
it's already
busted.
on? It's already literally flipped?
I don't know. I'm logging in. Okay, can you tell your friends at Condé Nast something for me?
Yeah.
So how many magazines does Condé have? Quite a few, right?
Fewer now than they used to.
Yeah, there's the New Yorker, there's Vanity Fair,
Vogue,
there's Wired.
Fair.
So Wired. I have an account for several of their magazines, New Yorker and Wired. But every time you log into Wired, which I'm trying to do, it doesn't take you to Wired.com. It takes you to CondéNast.com. And so it pops up my password for Condé Nast, which is not the same for Wired Digital. So it breaks my password manager. So we tell your friends at Condé to stop it. Either come up with one subscription for everything.
SSO, baby.
You know, Leo, I got Hank Green to say you can play the video, but you wouldn't listen to him. So why am I going to use your reputation for Condé Nast?
I need your help. In order to sign into my account, I have to select all images with bridges. You'd be good at this, Jeff.
Hey, I need a trigger warning on that.
Where's a bridge? Is that a bridge? That's an overpass.
Sweating.
That ain't a bridge. That's an overpass. I don't see any other bridges. Do you see any?
You're underneath one, and the one in the middle, in the tic-tac-toe spot.
Is that a bridge? I'm under an overpass.
You're under an overpass.
What does that count or no?
Survey says.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, it was a bridge.
I told you.
Liars. It wasn't a bridge. It were both overpasses.
Overpasses.
Finally, I can read you this article. Meta just... So can you please talk to your friends at Condé Nast? Tweet them, would you?
No.
Tweet them.
I used my poll with Hank, and it wasn't good enough for
Tweet them.
So I'm not doing it.
Tweet them. So meanwhile, in a move that Meta says is totally unrelated to the story from Nebraska, The social media giant announced this morning, which was August 11th, so a few mornings ago.
A little behind.
Well, I don't do this show every day. We haven't had a show in since the 10th, so this was a day after the show last week. The social media giant announced this morning, a week ago, that it is testing expansions of end-to-end encrypted messaging.
Oh, they always test stuff.
Messenger. Yeah, they got tested. They're also testing a secure storage feature for end-to-end encrypted chats so you can back up your messages securely. Now, do you think the Secret Service will start using Facebook Messenger? That might be cool. Company says a secure backup feature will be the default for end-to-end encryption chats on Messenger. You can lock the backups with a PIN or a generated code. The feature is designed so Meta will not be able to access the backups. Honestly, Meta, like every other company, doesn't want to be able to respond to those subpoenas, right?
Right.
They want to be able to say, oh, sorry.
I know nothing.
Yeah.
Isn't that plausible deniability?
Yeah. That's one way to put it. I think mostly, look, I don't know if Meta really doesn't want to help law enforcement in a case like this. They may very well want to, but they don't want the heat that they got from it. So they'd much prefer just to say, hey, we can't help you. Meta spokesperson told Wired, this is not a response to any law enforcement requests. We've had this date in the diary for months. But the short notice is because Messenger product teams have been finalizing the tests that are going live. These tests will start last Thursday, a week ago. We want people to hear about these tests from us before they see the changes in the app. So, good. I mean, it was 3 years ago, Mark Zuckerberg said, end-to-end encryption everywhere. So they're finally getting around to it.
They were going to become the encryption company, right? It was the whole
thing.
Yeah,
wasn't that the whole thing? Yeah. All right, let's take a little break, and then it's TikTok Corner, the changelog, all the things you've come to Twig to expect.
Yes. Just for Stacy and
Yay.
Okay.
You know, every night Lisa goes to bed.
I'm glad she goes to bed. There's some nights she doesn't.
Shouldn't be news to you. But she puts her watch and her iPhone on Nomad's Base 1 charger. This is an awesome charger. I actually got it for her because I said, oh, Lisa, this will, because the watch would fall off her charger and stuff. So now this is so awesome. She puts her phone on the MagSafe charger. She puts our watch right next to it, and boom, they're charging together. By the way, they now have the limited edition gold version. I got her the black one because she likes red and black. But this is one of many great products from Nomad. Nomad was started as a Kickstarter project many moons ago, but they've always had one goal in mind: to create products that are better made, that are better designed. Oh, I have my chargers. I have my chargers right here. Better made and better designed than the run-of-the-mill stuff. This is the MagSafe charger, and as soon as you heft it, you realize, boy, it is. The weight, and this is one of the things I love. All the Nomad products come with their braided cables. They got tired of the flimsy charging cables that fall apart every few months. I'm sure you are too. So they decided to engineer the most rugged cables around. They're reinforced. They're braided, which I love, but they're double braided Kevlar outer shield. The connector is a strong metal alloy. The housing's metal alloy, engineered for extreme durability, heavy everyday use. This is a Nomad cable. This is just, it's the detail, the attention to detail. How about the Nomad leather cases and Apple Watch straps? I have a wonderful Apple Watch strap that's Nomad leather. Premium wallets, passport holders, all crafted with beautiful Horween leather. Horween is a tannery in Chicago, more than 100 years old. Oh, does that smell good? They offer an unparalleled blend of quality and consistency. And what's nice about these, this is a brand new one, but as you use it, all my Nomad wallets and everything are like this. They get patinaed because it's good leather, and they're unique. They're only you. But the leather smell does not go away. It smells so fantastic. It just feels like luxury. Rugged and minimalist tools for the 21st century that seamlessly integrate into your everyday carry. This is the Nomad stainless steel band for the Apple Watch. Again, heavy. You can tell it's quality. Solid metal. It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. They're a climate neutral certified brand. Nomad is and always will be a company that prioritizes design and quality over everything else. And for them, one of the most important aspects to Nomad when they're designing new products is to use the best materials, the longest lasting, the highest quality materials. And they are not white labeling somebody else's stuff. They design everything from the ground up. They always have, they manufacture it themselves. So you're getting really good quality, excellent stuff. I just love Nomad goods. And so does Lisa, I have to tell you. If you want that gold one right now, head over there. That's a limited time offer on the Base 1 Max. Beautiful silver, gold, or black. The best stuff. Go to nomadgoods.com/twig. Ooh, and by the way, use the promo code TWIG. You'll get 10% off your first purchase of any Nomad accessory. That's nomadgoods.com/twig, and the promo code is TWIG. It's a limited time offer. Don't wait. Love the Nomad goods. Just really nicely made stuff. They'll look good, they'll feel good, and you will love them. Thank you, Nomad. Thank you very much for supporting This Week in Google. You support us, of course, when you use that special address. All right, Aunt, hide your head. Actually, before we do that, I have a question.
Stacey's got a reprieve here from the
no TikTok yet.
Gallows.
Say more.
She was already leaning away from the mic to run. She's like, I'm out.
So, you're going to thank me. I'm telling you, you're going to thank me, but go ahead, Leo.
There's a guy, we've had him on our shows. He's been around for a long time. I worked with him in Canada on Tech TV. Darren Kitchen, right? You know Darren.
Yeah.
He has the Hack 5 show. He sells, I think, questionable goods in his hacker store. The pineapple.
Pen testing stuff is what I remember, right?
Yeah, okay, so that's my question. They call it pen testing stuff. It's hackers' tools. So they've just announced the new USB Rubber Ducky. This is what The Verge writes. The beloved hacker tool can now pwn you with its own programming language. So it looks like a USB key, but instead of being a USB key, when you plug it into a computer, the machine sees it as a keyboard, which means it can type in any commands. And here is what Darren Kitchen says. Everything it types is trusted to the same degree as the user is trusted. So it takes advantage of the trust model built in where computers have been taught to trust a human, and the computer knows that a human typically communicates with it through clicking and typing. It can be used to hack machines. Pen testing, that's what it is. Keystroke injection attacks with advanced Ducky script.
But you have to have physical access to the device.
Well, or you could just leave it lying on the ground outside.
Oh, I'll try this.
Hey, a free USB key.
So is there a radio in it that you communicate via the USB?
Oh, that's a good question. That's
a good point. Does it just hack into your machine?
You'd have to
and open
retrieve
it up?
You'd have to retrieve it. Well, it could. Actually, it could run a tool that would then put
just
a
runs
remote
a tool
access Trojan
for the vulnerability.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's plenty of USB hacks out there. That doesn't seem like a problem. Having an easier one, if it is indeed easier, sure. I don't know. I'm like,
it's not. I guess it's not illegal, but it's just. I don't know.
And think about you should never plug an unidentified USB into any machine.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is true.
That's like in.
Anyway, he shows it off.
I get scared plugging in the ones from CES when you go to the booths and they're trying to get
I don't plug them in, man. Yeah. I'm always like
it feels like, though, that there's a lot of rationalizing going, well, it's a pen testing tool. Oh, yeah, see, it teaches people not to do this. I don't know. I feel like you're selling tools to hack people.
But you don't think lockpicking kits should be available?
Give to the bad guys?
There are lockpicking kits are illegal in many jurisdictions.
Are they really?
Yeah, unless you're a locksmith.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just...
So if I were to try to order a lockpicking kit from Amazon right now, would Amazon block it? Lockpicking kit.
I think you can buy it, but I wouldn't get caught carrying it around. I thought it was illegal, but you're right. Here I am.
Owning a lockpick is not illegal in most states.
Okay, lockpickworld.com.
It's only considered a crime if you use them illegally. So
Stacey, how do you know that?
She's looking at it. I can tell she's looked it up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's not illegal.
Research.
Okay, so this is probably like that. Most states in the U.S. allow for the purchase and possession of lockpicks. In Mississippi, the possession of lockpicks is illegal, but the concealment of such can be considered prima facie evidence of intent to commit a crime.
So you should open carry your lockpicks.
Open carry, please. Nevada, Ohio, and Virginia laws require one to prove otherwise. The prima facie evidence of intent. Illinois has a specific provision on lock bumping. You can't buy a lock bump. And Tennessee has laws on locksmithing. So it's not completely illegal. So I feel like, I guess it's kind of like that. There are legitimate uses for lockpicks, though, right? Completely legitimate.
Right. Well, aren't there legitimate uses for penetration testing tools to help the enterprise at whatever?
You don't need a USB Rubber Ducky to do pen testing.
No, you don't. But I'm just saying that's probably just one of the tools.
It's just
of the
another
trades.
tool to make it. Yeah.
Not my lockpick, man. This is one of many stories coming out of DEF CON Black Hat, besides all the, hacker summer camp.
John Deere.
Oh, did you see this one?
That's a good one.
Yep.
A new jailbreak for John Deere tractors.
I put up a Cory Doctorow thread on watching it happen.
Yeah, Cory was in the audience. So an Australian hacker named Sick Codes actually was able to break into the tractor programming interfaces on a John Deere tractor. He's actually Australian, lives in Asia.
He broke into their module and he convinced the module that he was an authorized dealer, and basically from there he could reprogram or do whatever he wanted.
So he put a special agricultural version of Doom on it, which Cory quite enjoyed, I remember. He also learned that John Deere is using a fairly ancient version of Linux, version 8, Linux 8. We're up to 15
common,
now.
y'all.
Yeah, and less common, Windows CE. Probably not secure and almost certainly a violation of GPL. He launched the attack, and 2 minutes later, a terminal pops up. I had root access, which is rare in Deere land. Farmers did not want him to show.
So this is interesting. Farmers hate him because they would hack it, and then he would basically let John Deere know, not from farmers, but he would figure it out. He would publicize it, and then John Deere would fix it. And they were like, please stop telling them. This is the only way we can fix our tractors when they break down, because John Deere forces us to go to an authorized repair person, and that can take weeks.
Which is impressive.
And by then our crops are dead.
That the farmers figured it out before the hackers did.
Farmers are like just very mechanically and whatever. They're hackers. They're
resourceful,
mechanically inclined. Thank you. That's the word. I've never met a farmer who can't figure something out.
All right.
Period.
Sick Codes, after he made his research public last year at DEF CON, said the right to repair side was a little bit opposed to what I was trying to do. I heard from some farmers. One guy emailed me and said, "You're effing up all our stuff." But that was last year. This year, his hack was so powerful. He said, I figured I'd put my money where my mouth is and actually prove to farmers they can root the devices. So
once they do, then Deere can't get back into it and take it back?
Right. So, and I'm sure Deere will try to patch these vulnerabilities, of course. Yeah.
Somebody's working on that right now.
Have they talked about this on Floss Weekly at all?
Actually, we did, sir. Mr. Jonathan Bennett, our Untitled Linux show host in Club Twit, he's apparently knows Sick Codes quite well and got a lot of joy out of this. And today's guest, Dave Tatt, was pretty much up in arms because of the version of Linux that's being used.
Oh, yeah. And because they're not
violating the GPL.
Right. They're not adhering to the license. Good. Try to get sick codes on the show. That would be really cool.
What's also interesting in the Cory thread is that when he put it back on, it tried to send 1.5 gigabytes of data up to Deere.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of data on those things. So Deere actually created their own custom GPS to address things like the tilt of the earth and things like that, because it needs to be so precision for seeds and that sort of for planting. So they've actually done quite a bit of they've done quite a bit with sensors and with machine learning on their tractors. So it doesn't surprise me that those things are sending lots of data. I know we hate Deere, but they've built some really cool stuff.
Oh my God, yes, it's super cool.
Machines.
And our food supply relies on them.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little less cool.
So Cory says he discovered that all it took to convince the computer that he was a dealer was to create an empty text file on its hard drive whose file name was something like imdealer.txt. Says Cory, I didn't write down the exact file name, alas, but it's not far off.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Makes use of a great deal of use of free and open source software. Gravely out of compliance with license terms.
John Deere's probably running Knoppix.
Well, Cory also figured there were a few Deere people in the audience.
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah,
of course. Yeah.
You know, their tech people are probably at odds with their business people. And to some, like, I'm really torn on some of this. As we use sensors to highly optimize machines with software, it does become much more of an issue when that software is broken, inadvertently or advertently, simply because it changes the way they might operate. It might create like weird dependencies. And I'm not trying to defend them for not, I don't think Deere's behaving well, but I do understand like things tied to like security and regular updates. We have to come to some sort of middle ground on building this sort of software in tight software to machine integration and then making it possible to fix things easily and not as an economically for regular use, I guess. Because some of the stuff, like their emissions stuff, I do think there's probably that's not just FUD. I don't know. That's just me.
There's a way to do it right. There's a way to do it that...
Well, and I think we should be exploring that. And that's also why I say with like future business models related to connected devices are going to have to rely so much on people trusting the company providing those services. And we're not there yet because everybody is like at like this weird capitalistic, let's just gouge as much money out of people as possible. And that actually isn't sustainable. And we're going to turn our backs on some really good technology because we understand that it's going to actively be used against us. And it's a shame, but I get it.
Read Cory's full post on Pluralistic about this, and he makes a very strong case about why what John Deere's doing is so very, very wrong and basically monopolistic, you know.
It is.
Yeah. Cory's new book, Chokepoint Capitalism, How Big Tech and Big Content Captured Creative Labor Markets and How We'll Win Them Back. We're going to get
crowdfunding now by you.
Yeah, isn't that great? Kickstarted. Yeah. We're going to get, I'm going to try to get Cory on to talk about that because you have a little bit more time, I think, on the Kickstarter. And I'd love to give
they've already met their goals.
Yeah, but they should meet their goals and then some.
Yeah. No, the more people who can access this book, the better.
Yeah. Chokepoint Capitalism. Hearing aids are going over the counter. Huge news. The FDA finally moved. They finalized OTC hearing aids that could be sold without a prescription to people with mild to moderate hearing loss, available as soon as October. Hearing aids cost around $6,000. You have to also visit an audiologist to get tested.
I just bought one for my father last
Special
week.
mold too, right?
$3,500 for one plus $120 for the mold. If you use that kind, you don't have to have the mold unless your hearing is bad enough. With my father's, if you don't use the mold, the feedback is awful.
Oh, it squeaks, yeah.
So the mold is not only makes it easier for him to hear, it also stops us from hearing all that. This was for one hearing aid because his other ear is just a goner. But what I don't understand about this, Leo, is who's to say that the price is going to come down?
Well, already, and we'll know in October, but already competition should bring the prices down. Right now, a few companies dominate it. They dominate.
Well, and you don't have to go to an audiologist
They dominate
anymore.
because you require an audiologist, and so they make deals
but
with
our audiologist really made a lot of adjustments that were specialized.
So you might have seen an ad right after the butt deodorant for a thing called Lively Hearing Aids. I've already started seeing these ads on MSNBC. These are $1,300 for a pair, a lot less. And you don't use an audiologist. You have an app on your phone that does the test and then sets the hearing aids. Now, admittedly, when I got my hearing aids, I went to an audiologist. They do an extensive hearing test. They adjust it. You go back in several times to get them further adjusted. There's a lot of even psychological adjustment to wearing hearing aids, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, good article in Wired from Jaipreet Virdi, The Unintended Consequences of OTC Hearing Aids. He's profoundly deaf from, oh no, I guess not from birth, but he's 98% hearing loss in both ears for over 30 years. He talks about the fact that, not having audiologists in the mix and all the marketing that might happen from over-the-counter hearing aids might mean that people get a worse experience and then decide not to wear hearing aids. And so that's what needs to change is how we perceive hearing aids in the first place. Rather than leaning heavily on the implication hearing aids are inherently embarrassing, these devices should be marketed as tools for highlighting the vitality and richness of deaf experience.
Oh.
Wait a minute. They're saying it's a stigma behind hearing aids?
I think
there are, because people feel they're old.
It's why a lot of old people don't wear them. In fact,
did not know that.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I would say, let me see here. About 28 million U.S. adults could benefit from wearing hearing aids, but most choose not to. More than half choose not to. 13% of the American population has some hearing loss. That's 28 million. Because, and this has started in the 30s, physicians framed deafness as a worrisome public health problem. It indicates that you're old. Medicare does not cover hearing aids. Right. Cost of hearing aids is really outrageous. Let's see. According to guidelines presented in October of last year, OTC hearing aids would be available from any seller over the counter, sold at approximately $600 a pair, about a tenth what I paid. The average cost of $5,000 to more than $14,000 a pair, which includes fittings and follow-up services. But without customized fitting, without those adjustments that your dad got,
which mattered greatly. The audiologist spent 15 minutes, 20 minutes standing out in the hall, talking to him, seeing what sounds didn't work, coming back adjusting. The other thing that we found out the hard way was when he was in Florida, he bought one under the Audible brand. Audible is a subsidiary of Starkey, which makes a lot of hearing aids. You can buy Starkeys from a lot of places. Yep. But if you buy an Audible, just like the John Deere tractor, they're locked so that no other audiologist but an Audible brand person can see and change the settings.
I think that's the case.
And I had to drive an hour and a half to get his hearing aid adjusted in Pennsylvania because there was no place here. That's why we bought a new one, just simply because we couldn't get around the adjustments.
I think the answer to this, though, is going to be, and I think it's coming from companies like Apple, making them part of like your AirPods experience, your standard kind of headphone experience, positioning them not as something for old people, but as something that enhances your hearing.
For the lightly deaf, yes. For the profoundly deaf, no.
Profoundly deaf, you're going to have to get, what your dad got.
If you're super... and that's exactly it. If you're super handicapped, if you're super unable to hear, you're going to have to deal with this. But like, we've had hearables for a while, which is what these kind of like augmented hearing things, they are going to get better.
I think they'll also reduce stigma, right?
I think it'll reduce stigma because you'll see much more innovation, like some of the innovations from consumer electronics around battery life and, you know, Bluetooth connectivity. Like, I don't know about you, but my mom, when she's like trying to connect her hearing aids to her phone,
a pain.
It's a real nightmare.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see some good stuff. And you're right. This isn't going to be for everyone. The more hearing loss you have, the more you'll have to go to a professional. But I think instead of starting when you're like 50, you know, maybe you start when you're 70.
Right.
And the innovations you see at the bottom end, they're going to be pushed up to the top end and pricing as well, because there'll be more competition. So I think this is good.
I think ultimately it is. And I think but I hadn't really thought about the unintended consequences. So Jailbreak's article is I think well taken. And
yes,
definitely there's a difference between the people who need, like me, who can hear but need a little help, and people who are profoundly deaf. And I think the over-the-counter stuff is really more intended for people like me.
I wish insurance companies, including Medicare, were required to cover hearing aids.
Unbelievable that Medicare doesn't cover it.
Yeah.
Now, can you, for a health savings account, can it count under that now?
I think you can do that.
Yeah,
sure.
you can. Yes. I'm pretty sure.
But still, it's very expensive. We're talking
It
a lot
is.
of
Well,
money.
that's why Medicare doesn't want to cover it.
Yeah.
You got to draw the line somewhere, I guess.
Fair
I don't
point.
He's trying to avoid it. He's trying to go around. He's trying not to
find something else to talk about.
But you know, it's just out there waiting to be done.
Oracle is beginning to audit TikTok's algorithms.
That's because the Chinese government started calling for social media companies in the country to audit their algorithms.
That's right. And
So
it's Project
TikTok-
Texas.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's what it's called, because I guess Oracle is in Texas.
It's based in Texas now.
Yeah. The idea is really not so much, I think they're doing it to reassure Congress and maybe the American people that TikTok US is not an arm of the Chinese Communist Party. Right? I had a guy call the last call of the radio show this weekend saying, "Don't you think TikTok is a Chinese conspiracy and is, you know, shouldn't we ban it?" I said, "Well," he said, "I know your son is a TikTok star, but shouldn't we ban it?" And I, like Jeff, and maybe some of you, think that it's a great venue for creators, just like YouTube.
Yes.
And I don't think it's a bad thing to have some oversight. I think maybe this is the way to do it. ByteDance.
It does collect a lot of data. It does collect a lot of data, just so you know. It's collecting your location data.
Like everything else.
Yeah, I'm less worried about that. I'm more worried about
what are the Chinese going to do with that?
Yeah.
Do they care?
So they know where I am.
If they understand, like, not necessarily you, Jeff, but let's say you have access. Let's say you work at a company like, I don't know, Twilio. They can use that information to target individuals that they might be interested in phishing.
Yeah. And follow Chinese expatriate Chinese dissidents and so forth.
Listen, I don't trust China. I'm not defending China here. I'm just saying.
The solution to that is to not let people with sensitive jobs have TikTok or a smartphone. I mean, look at everything on your phone is tracking you. So maybe they should not carry their phone to work. I mean, there's got to be some solutions, but it doesn't mean necessarily. I mean, everything. Facebook's tracking you too. Everybody's tracking you.
I mean, didn't we try to give the leader of the U.S. a dumb-ish smartphone at one point in time just for stuff like this?
I think we still do. So
Trump
TikTok said it's been routing all its U.S. user data to Oracle's cloud infrastructure. So all the stuff is stored in Texas. And now they say they're going to establish a partnership with an outside firm to oversee its algorithms. Because I think that's the secondary concern. Maybe, to me, even more important is that what if the Chinese government started forcing ByteDance to promote things that are in the interest of the Chinese government and subtly modify our thinking through TikTok? Is that possible?
Is it possible that
there is
disinformation
on TikTok?
Yeah. What if the Chinese government decided, well, this information's okay, this isn't?
I'm sure they're already deciding that. They already don't show you people who live in crappy homes or
fat people. Yep. Although they got caught, and I think they do show you fat people now. But, that's the thing. The new arrangement gives Oracle regular vetting and validation of TikTok's content recommendation and moderation models. So not only do they have the data, but Oracle can see the algorithms. Make you feel better? You trust Oracle?
Well, I guess more than ByteDance, but...
no.
And again, I think this is not really an attempt to fix this, but just to appease Congress.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Right? This is 100% a salve to Congress.
Yeah.
Not and not just Congress. I mean, all governments right now are looking at auditing algorithms in some form or fashion. So
you mentioned Twilio. That Twilio breach now more and more looks targeted.
Yeah, it's 100% targeted.
By a nation state who was trying to break into somebody's Signal account. End-to-end encrypted messaging app Signal says attackers accessed the phone numbers and SMS verification codes for almost 2,000 users as part of the breach at Twilio last week. Twilio provides phone number verification services to Signal. It sounds like there were some specific 2 or 3 accounts that they were looking for. While they doesn't mean that Signal, the message contents are available to anybody. They're not. Nor does it give the attacker access to the message history. But you could re-register an account and then send and receive signals from that phone number. And since on Signal you're identified by your phone number, it would allow you to impersonate somebody. The company says it will unregister Signal on all devices that the user is currently using or an attacker registered them to, and will require users to re-register Signal with their phone number on their preferred device. You should also switch on registration lock if you use Signal, a feature that prevents the account from being re-registered on another device without your security PIN. So I guess Signal thought about this ahead of time. So 40 million users use Signal, but they were going, it looks like, after about 125 specific customers. And so it looks pretty much like a nation state attack, targeted attack.
And any guess as to which nation? In the speculation?
No. And it could be so many of them, right? If you knew a dissident was using Signal, I mean, it has a limited use, as I said. You could only pose as them. You can't read their messages or see who they were talking to. So,
but you could set up a meeting and then kill somebody.
Yeah.
That's right.
There you go.
I read a lot of spy fiction.
Maybe you should knock that off, Stacey. Maybe it's making you a little paranoid.
You could also impersonate someone, provide documents and misinformation, and then help legitimize basically disinfo.
Yep.
As a journalist, we would be susceptible to that.
Could be.
And Jeff, I think as a journalist, it's your job to understand how people could lie to you or
Yeah. I'm just joking. Jeez, lay off the spy novel, Stacey.
Did you see, and I recommend it if you didn't, Anne Hathaway and Jared Leto in We Crash? No, is it what was it?
I think it was We Crashed.
We Crashed. Yeah. The story of WeWork. And at the end, Adam Neumann and his wife, I think it's Rebecca Neumann, walk off with a pretty substantial $1 billion.
Tons of money.
Leaving a lot of investors out of pocket. Neumann, second act was investing in real estate. Well, now he has just raised, he's got a new company called Flow, and he's just raised significant $350 million from Andreessen Horowitz, who I guess didn't watch that show.
I mean, but don't they have to do some type of due diligence as investors?
Yeah, it's their money.
Man,
it's their money. Well, it's actually not their money. It's their LP's
But how
money.
is it? How does this cat continue to just get free money from people.
Flo hasn't even launched.
He was really good at building up.
He's a good salesman. Yeah.
He's a great salesman.
Jeez.
He wants to transform the residential real estate market. He has been buying up properties for the last few years on his own dime. Flo, which hasn't launched yet, is expected to launch next year. Mark Andreessen will be on the board. Neumann is also planning to make a sizable personal investment. Flo. Here's what Andreessen wrote in a post on the Andreessen Horowitz website. It's often underappreciated that only one person has fundamentally redesigned the office experience and led a paradigm-changing global company in the process, Adam. Neumann has already purchased more than 3,000 apartment units in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta, and Nashville. He is planning to rethink the housing rental market by creating a branded product with consistent service and community features. Sounds a lot like WeWork. Flo will operate the properties Neumann has bought and also offered its services to new developments and other parties. By the way, WeWork was originally We Live. It was intended to be co-housing.
I thought that came after the work part. I thought that
came
was the
after
extension.
WeWork.
No, all I saw was a TV show, so you're right.
Yeah.
But according to the TV show...
I read the book and reported on WeWork, so let me tell you.
So it was later? It wasn't before the workspace thing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, he's still planning to do it. He also co-founded a crypto company, Flow Carbon. And he raised $70 million for that last May from Andreessen Horowitz. So they're into him for $420 million. 420. Keeps coming up. I don't know. Andreessen says he's interested in Flow because the rental real estate market is ripe for disruption.
I want some names. Who are these people that says, you know what, we're going to sign the check? And I know check is old. It's not used. But who are the people that are saying, yep, we trust this person. We're going to just go ahead and send this money in and have them come to the press and tell why they believe whatever this person is telling them, considering the track record.
So, Ant, I saw speculation on Twitter, take it for what you will, that there's a strategy behind this, which is Andreessen Horowitz wants to, it's not unlike NFTs. If we invest a whole bunch, other people will invest a whole bunch, and it'll be worth it, right? Look at Clubhouse. Andreessen Horowitz was key behind Clubhouse, and the hype brought the valuation of, we remember what Clubhouse is? No, we don't.
Yep.
But they got more investment. And the other argument that was made was that this is a message to bad boy founders. Oh, we'll forgive anything.
Well, we've always said that, haven't we? We've always said failure is celebrated in Silicon Valley.
We fetishize it in America.
Yeah. And in fact, he said, we love seeing repeat founders build on past successes by growing from lessons learned. For Neumann, he added, the successes and lessons are plenty.
While we're on...
The rich get richer. That's the rule, right?
We're talking billions, not millions, billions of dollars. And people are trusting this?
Not many need to, Ant. Only a few limited partners need to.
I need to find these people. Hey, let me talk to you. I don't even need a million. Let's
you know
talk.
what you need, Ant? You need a little ringtone interpretive dance.
Here we go. Sound up.
Unbelievable.
To those on audio, people are dancing to the ringtones. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Well, brilliant's a big word. I don't know if it's...
Dude, this is like my life with my child. It's just someone filming it.
These are just some French people dancing to ringtones. Not even ringtones. Notification sounds.
Notifications,
I do this every day. This is my life.
Your dance moves?
I dance whenever I hear these sounds. I do interpretive dances.
And they did costume changes for them.
Well, you can't. They probably took many days.
I think they just filmed them at different times and filtered it.
Yes, I know.
By the way, it looks like the TikTok account is en petit peu de France. So
a little bit of France.
A little bit of France. Right there in your TikTok. Bum, bum.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was clever.
Yeah, thank you, Ant. I'll take that as a rave review.
That's all I can say.
For the start of TikTok Corner, but there's more.
Oh, there's so much more. Can you just
now.
Pick a couple of these? Because there's just a lot of them.
Well, you could do the kindergarten teacher talking to politicians.
All right, why not? Now, can we take it down for the... No, because there's no content ID, right? Right? Okay.
We're good.
So this is
a sound up, though. You got to go back to the beginning and turn your sound up to get the first joke, but okay.
Well, I don't... TikTok is autoplay, and that just takes me off guard.
Thank you so much for cleaning up the ketchup, my friend. That was really responsible, and I appreciate that. Are you feeling calm and safe and ready to talk? Okay, great. How are you feeling now? Sad. Yeah, I get it. Frustrated, maybe? Me too. Do you understand why they took those items from you? No, not for no reason, friend. Those did not belong to you. You took them home and you were not supposed to, so they took them back. The FBI.
I'm out.
Yeah. We need to start taking some responsibility for our actions. Do you know what responsibility means? Listen, everybody makes mistakes, okay? Even grown-ups make... You're a grown-up. Okay. No, honey, we cannot go play golf right now. We need to stay inside.
That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. And makes the point that some things, the most important things you might have learned in kindergarten. Or not.
And the music street is very short and kind of fun. Maybe you saw this before. Maybe you do this. I did not.
Okay, one more. This is it. This is your last one. You sure?
Jeez.
You sure?
Yeah, okay.
Final answer. Okay.
Stacey, come on. Stacey, come on. You can do it.
That was a dud.
Musikstrasse. Oh, I've seen this before. They've got highway. You know, the little and the shoulder of the highway. They've got little bumps, little warning strips. So you go over them, it goes brrr, and you know your car is off the road. Except here, this is apparently in Hungary, it's not just a brrr. Seems this would encourage people to drive off the road.
I think so. I'm also thinking of Kramer when he took over a mile of road.
Oh, yeah, these are old.
Seinfeld.
I've seen these before.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Never seen this. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, you see, I learn something new every day.
There's nothing new on TikTok. Nothing.
And did you put one in there? Did you put the quiet quitting in there?
Quiet quitting is the latest workplace trend going viral on TikTok.
You don't need to do that. I thought Ant put that in. Now don't bother with that one.
So we've had quiet quitting. We've had people quiet quit.
I'm quiet quitting right now.
Yeah.
Stacey has bad attitude.
So terrible.
Yeah.
So terrible. No.
No. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, I am. Well, I was quiet quitting during the TikToks. I'll be honest.
We're done.
But we're done with the TikToks, and now I'm back.
Let's do a changelog. Play that thing that you do so very well.
The Google changelog.
The official Android 13 version of Android is out. Right? We said that already. This is the official statue. It's not a dessert. What is it?
Is that a swing set?
It needs Lumi, I think.
It's
It's like a swing set.
It says, this is Android. Please, Google's official Android 13 statue sure looks like a butt. It's a swing set in the shape of three.
Oh, no.
Of a three triggers all the wrong suggestions. Well, it's a swing set. Swing sets always look like butts. They have to fit your butt. That's not anything.
Wow.
This is on the Google campus. I guess they're not doing desserts. Is there Jason Howell? Is there a dessert associated with Android 13? I think there is.
We used to make that like a top story of what's the dessert.
Yeah, what's the dessert?
Don't care.
Was it Q? QRS? Gosh, I don't even know anymore. Was it tea?
Tiramisu.
He says maybe tiramisu. Yeah, tea. Okay. That's good. At least there's a decent dessert. I don't know why they didn't have a nice little piece of tiramisu in the sculpture park instead of a swing.
Like a piece of tiramisu.
Google Photo has made a change. I think this is very, very important. I want you all to listen carefully. They're renaming Archive to Hidden.
What?
They're renaming... You really want me to repeat it?
Well, I heard you. I don't understand.
That's the change. Archive, in fact, there is a prompt when you update Google Photos to 6.1 on iOS. You'll be greeted with, Archive is now called Hidden. So, hey, it's a change, and it's in the changelog. Google Chrome can now become your default browser on Windows. Remember, this was, I don't know if you remember this, it was certainly a conversation went on for a while on Windows Weekly. Microsoft really wants you to use their browser, Edge, and had made it for a while very hard to change the default browser. A lot of buttons to click and so forth. Well, Google Chrome is now rolling out the ability to become your default browser with one click. I think Firefox tried this. Microsoft changed it, but I think it's really Microsoft capitulating.
Y'all, did you see that Lorenzo Franceschi Bicciarrara, I don't know. He was a journalist. So the Twilio attack was trying to attack journalists.
Oh.
Okay.
So at Lorenzo FB is the guy.
On Twitter, I presume.
Yes.
Sorry. Oh, so that might match up with your thesis that it is an invitation. Oh, Lorenzo Franceschi Bicchiari.
There you go.
Yes, real-time historian of the late cyber capitalist era at Motherboard. Oh, he's at Motherboard, which of course makes sense. They targeted 1,900 Signal users, specifically going after 3 of them. I was one of the 3, and the hackers were able to take over my Signal account for 13 hours. Yeah, I know, of course, his byline. We see it all the time.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Oh, see, and he's saying to people, if you talk to me during this time frame, someone was impersonating me. I want to understand who or what they said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He probably has sources who use Signal. Expect this to be him. It could be... Actually, now that makes me think it's more industrial espionage kind of stuff, right? What does Lorenzo usually write about? Let's see. Meet the environmental hacktivists trying to sabotage mining companies.
So that could be a government.
Yeah. Head of Ukraine's cybersecurity says Russia has committed cyber war crimes. He writes about security.
Yeah, InfoSec and surveillance. All right. Well, there you go. Sorry, I interrupted your changelog, but it felt important.
No, that's important. That's good. And that makes a lot of sense. I knew it was a targeted attack. I didn't realize it was targeting journalists. That's very interesting. Hey, guess what? Google Meet now shows how noisy your office is.
Huh?
Well, you don't want to take a video call in a noisy office. Google has ambient noise suppression to block out the noise. But they've revealed in a post on the Google Workspace blog, there's actually a new visual indicator for when Meet has activated that. So if you look here, when you're talking, it's got the little waveform, but you see it'll say reducing noise. So if you see reducing noise pop out, it means, hey,
the dog is barking.
The dog is barking or something like that. The pop-up will appear as often as once per meeting.
Did you ever try Google Meet instead of Zoom?
Did we, John? I don't think so. We use it for corporate. All of our staff meetings and stuff. And I think our experiences there inform our decision not to use it on the air.
Yeah, I think I would imagine that, yes.
You're going to have to explain this to me, Stacey Higginbotham. Google is killing off... Oh, go ahead.
Google is killing its IoT core link between connected devices and its Google Cloud platform.
Is that a big deal?
Sorry.
Sounds like a big deal.
So they're giving you a year's notice.
Oh.
And basically it's an indication that Google sucks when it comes to getting IoT devices onto their cloud network. They do have a few customers.
Is it customers, individuals, or companies that make IoT devices?
Companies that make IoT devices. So this is, and specifically, it's industrial companies that are sending device data. So IoT Core is a data ingest off of different devices and modules. And you knew it wasn't popular because like nobody making modules actually supported it. They were like, yeah, we support Azure and AWS, and then crickets if you asked them about Google. But it's still a big deal, like from a competition perspective.
So Amazon and Microsoft both offer similar features.
Yeah, Microsoft is Azure IoT Hub and AWS IoT Core. Are the two names of that.
Google went general availability with their Cloud IoT Core service, managed service, early 2018. Unclear how many people used the service ever. And so they are killing it 5 years later, August 16th, 2023, 1 year from yesterday. Yeah.
I figure, small story, but it ties into the don't love anything that Google produces. It will kill it.
Here's the quote for the stack. Since launching IoT Core, it's become clear that our customers' needs could be better served by our network of partners that specialize in IoT applications and services. Don't use us. You'll be better served by somebody else.
It's not you. It's us.
It's us. Well, good on them. If something doesn't work well or people aren't using it, then that's completely appropriate. And that's why we're going to end the Google changelog. We're done. It's over. We'll be back next week with more. Don't worry. Let us pause for a moment. And when we come back, I'm going to put you all back to work with the final thoughts, your picks of the week. Let's kick off the picks of the week. And again, no pressure with Stacy's thing.
My thing this week is not actually a thing. It's an app. If you're like wondering, oh my gosh, should I go for hearables or anything like that with the recent FTC decision? I use an app called the Mimi Hearing Test. You can get it on Apple and Android, and it keeps running. You do a hearing test however many times you want, and it just basically tracks your hearing.
How is your hearing?
My hearing is okay. I'm losing some high frequencies.
Yeah, yes, that's because you're getting old.
Yeah. Thank you, Lee.
I've used this because I'm really old, and I agree. This is really a valuable.
Do you wear the hearing aids all the time, Leo?
No. I hear well enough. I got them because I kind of wanted to understand the market. I wanted to understand. I was excited about the hearables category, and I went to Starkey and Resound because both of them seemed to be kind of forward thinking in that. I was very underwhelmed. It really gave me an insight into hearing aids and how poorly they work. So I wear. My hearing is definitely deteriorating because too many years of headphones, for one thing.
Yeah.
The New York Times just said that is not a problem.
What? Hearing?
Earbuds.
Earbuds?
Headphones. Earbuds don't hurt your hearing, they say.
Well, if you don't listen too loud. I've been I've been wearing headphones for 46 years and probably too loud. And the thing is, it's a vicious cycle because you start turning them up and then it damages your hearing and then you turn them up some more and then so you're always listening louder and louder and louder. And I think that
did you take them on the cruise? The hearing aids?
No.
So you don't really wear them.
I don't wear them.
Really
well, I did for a while, and I occasionally, if I know I'm going to be in an environment where it's going to be hard to hear, I will wear them. It's not.
Does
good
Lisa ever say, "Damn it, Leo, would you wear your hearing
time.
aids?"
Yeah.
Okay.
But she mumbles. Maybe I should take this Mimi hearing test. So this is free. What do you get out of this, though? I mean, it's just you just get the knowledge.
You get the knowledge. But like as these things are becoming more, like you're going to see a lot more marketing towards people like, oh, can you hear this? You couldn't. Oh my gosh. You should check out the new Jabra Enhanced Elite 22s. So this is just an option that kind of offers you.
Some Android devices offer this kind of hearing test built in, like the Samsung phones, which is fantastic because you can say, okay, and now when I play back sound on headphones with this phone, I want you to adapt it to my equalization curve. So that's really good. I feel like Mimi also had a tinnitus app of some kind, but I guess not. I'm looking to see.
Tinnitus.
I say tinnitus, you say tinnitus. Let's call the whole thing off.
What?
I don't.
Let's figure out how to say that word.
It's both. I asked my audiologist. Yeah.
I thought the itis was about inflammation.
Okay.
My audiologist says tinnitus, but I think he said it's okay to say tinnitus. Let's.
What does Google say?
That's because we've Americanized it, apparently.
Oh, really? Okay, you know.
No, I don't know. I'm just talking outside of my neck.
Really? You got a hole there, too? Anyway, I don't like it, and I got it. And there are apps also that you can use to kind of mask it or figure it out or whatever. Tinnitus, pronounced tinnitus or tinnitus. Yeah, both.
Tinnitus.
This is the National Institutes.
That's British. Hold on. Let me do the American.
Tinnitus.
Well, according to the National Institutes of Health, it's pronounced both ways. And I think that's what my audiologist said as well. And when I say tinnitus, which I agree with you, Ann, is the proper pronunciation, I get corrected so much, so I just say tinnitus now.
Yeah.
Because that's what people want to hear. So I tell them what they want to hear, even if I can't hear it. Mimi Health, it's free, right, on iOS?
It is.
Again,
on iOS and Android.
If you have an Android device, you might look and see, certainly Samsung has this, buried deep in the sound settings. It's called Adapt Sound. You can adjust the sound of the phone to your particular hearing deficiencies. Jeff, should you buy a Books?
Well, that's one of my things. But first I want to mention, is we didn't get to one story. I want to just mention this just so I can say it. I've been telling you and telling you and telling you. An Australian court just agreed that Google is not a publisher. It could not be held liable for libel by just linking to something. I just wanted to get that on the record. That's all. I will do that.
Is this the YouTube case?
I don't.
No, this is another case.
So. It's another case.
Yeah.
So I just want to mention that for the record. So I actually have a few questions for you, for our wonderful audience. First, the Books. I had the Remarkable, and I sent it back because the software at the time wasn't working well to fluidly move PDFs that I could mark up back and forth into my drive. Books is based on Android.
Huh.
And I don't know if
that's a selling point, to be honest.
Which version of Android?
11.
So these are e-ink notebook applications. Right. Where you could put documents on them, mark them up, or write your own notes. I have the Remarkable too, and quite like it. And I have not had the issue that you've had.
Maybe the software got better.
Yeah, it's just you have an app,
very
and
first
it moves into the app. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I don't know anything about the Books. Anybody know anything about the Books? B-O-O-X.
Well, what happens is we mention this on the show, and then people will come to Twitter and tell me what they think. So that was one.
Having Android could be good, of course.
It could be. Yeah. I mean, it's the tablet,
right?
Then,
right?
It's just an e-ink tablet. Mm-hmm. So I mentioned this on the show a couple times. I have a few, not very many, very few shares of Twitter, so I could get these kinds of notifications. And I just got the should I vote? Now Twitter is saying that you should vote in favor of the Musk purchase.
Oh, as a shareholder. Yes,
as a shareholder.
We knew that the board would recommend it because essentially that's what they said, right? We're going to recommend it.
But they don't really mean it, do they?
Sure they do. They want money.
Their wallets
don't.
They
Get paid.
Yeah.
But I think I should vote no. What do you think?
As a user, I would vote no. But
yes.
Twitter's stock is $43.99 right now. So you'd be getting almost a $10 a share premium.
But what is free speech really worth?
By the way, that's interesting because that stock has gone up quite a bit over the last month.
It sure has.
Indicating that the market believes that Elon is either going to have to kick in some money or is going to have to buy it. I think more likely the former. Elliott Management, the activist shareholders who were instrumental in getting Jack Dorsey to quit, have now sold their entire stake in Twitter. They're out. after really kind of
because they're
messing
not,
it up.
they're
up the
not
whole company.
stewards. They're just people
Right,
who are
no.
like, yeah, I'll do this.
right.
So then finally, I was going to mention that. So I went back to the classroom today, and today was my session on the history of media, and I do the entirety of media from Gutenberg to today in 45 minutes. I was going to mention that I put it on YouTube from the last years, and you could watch it, but then I guess that if I did that, then Leo would fear that I'm going to take down the whole show, so I won't mention that.
I'm not worried about you, but what about the journalism school? This is your 43-minute. Is this a lecture?
Yes, it is. It's the entire history of media
in 43
now
minutes.
To the history of journalism.
Wait a minute. How do you get the whole history of journalism in 43 minutes?
Because I talk really
carefully.
fast. I had to listen to it again because I could watch. I turned myself on fast and I scared myself.
Do you? This is interesting. So this is now. I thought you said you were meeting in person in classes.
We did, but they cut down my time, so I had to get in the basics by showing them the video again, and then we could discuss it.
Actually, I think it's a great idea to flip the. They call it flipping the classroom.
And to have the discussion, like prep them ahead of time, and then have a
Say,
discussion.
watch this
after they get
tonight,
it.
and then what the class really is going to be is us talking about what you get out of it. Is that kind of what you did, Jeff?
Yeah.
That's nice. Good. So everybody can watch this. We won't watch all 43 minutes. Is there a highlight anywhere?
No.
Is there a TikTok?
He says no.
And it starts
next
with...
year I have to do it on...
version
I'll do
already.
45 TikToks next year.
Is it start with Gutenberg and ends with podcasts?
Of course. I don't think I mentioned podcasts, Leo.
What?
Did you mention
dare
Civil?
you. How
I was so
dare
sad
you.
that didn't do.
Quibi? Did you mention Quibi?
No.
Sybil? What's Sybil? Oh,
Civil.
Civil. Did that fail?
That was the blockchain news thing. No, I did not mention that.
Oh.
I knew better.
Oh. I didn't realize it was gone. Lessons from a failed startup. Civil was launched in 2017. Maybe basing on blockchain wasn't the smartest.
Yeah, it was so complicated. Oh my Lord, it was complicated.
I think we've kind of learned a lesson about blockchain. It's not everything that's cracked up to be. Okay, good. So how do people find this? It's on your
You can
YouTube
go to
channel.
YouTube and search
Okay.
Jeff Jarvis.
So youtube.com/Jeff Jarvis. And skip
we got some
the weird
shorts.
Pixel XL 2
Boy, that's old.
stuff and go right to the J School. Actually, you put a lot of this on there. That's really cool.
I have one on business too.
What's Jarvis Salisbury?
I had to do a talk for somebody.
When I search by Jeff Jarvis, I get
You get the jazz
funk
player.
music.
Oh.
Yes, that's probably better.
Yeah. That's the talented Jeff Jarvis as opposed to me.
Oh, I see
There's
Jeff
also-
Jarvis on a journalistic code of ethics.
There is also the Jeff Jarvis who is an Elvis impersonator.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
Wow.
that also sounds fun.
Yeah.
As opposed to me, I
Jeff.
know.
But this is the Jeff Jarvis you want, except no substitutes. In fact, Jeff, you should replace your thumbnail with this. This is the
Do
great
it.
picture I bought on
should.
eBay.
I should.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarvis Entertainment at thebash.com/oldies/Jeff-Jarvis.
Do you think we can get him
He's
to...
from Cumberland, Rhode Island. Will travel up to 100 miles.
There you go. Up to 100 miles. So we're not going to get him, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Aunt Pruitt, what's your thing?
What are my... Oh, yeah. I had to
It's
switch
your
it.
thing. Do what you want to.
Shout out to Scott Hilt, I believe, on Twitter. Because I was just griping about Android 13, and Scott Hilt has done the work.
He set the wallpaper to Clemson orange, and even though the original image had the proper orange,
Take a look at that left side. Look at those the clock and that color, and if you scroll down a little more, you can see what the actual palette options are.
they want really like lime green,
So once again,
chocolate
it's the same
brown,
old crap.
and puce. I'm so sorry.
So, Scott Hilt, thank you for sending that. during the show.
Yeah, he proved it. Yeah. He proved it. And you know what? His Twitter motto is quality over quantity. So there.
I dig that.
Yep.
Good call.
Yep.
Next, I just want to give a shout out to Miss Lisa Carney. I spoke with her over the weekend. It's good to talk to her. And she mentioned Photoshop World is coming up. It's a Scott Kelby and Kelby One event. Right now, I believe you get it for $100 off. It's all online, and it's all of the legendary photographers and retouchers and processors of Photoshop. That's going to give you a lot of information and help you get better at using it. Links in our show notes, and that's for Photoshop World. And lastly, just tag me on Instagram. I'm not going to say follow me on Instagram because you're not going to see it if you follow me. But just tag me on Instagram with any of your images that you've snapped or something that you found interesting. It's been cool seeing some of the stuff people tag me in. A lot of good photographers out there that's not getting the recognition. So tag me, Ant_Pruitt.
Ant_Pruitt. Give him a tag. And then
I should tag you with all my lopsided landscape photos. You can just be like,
Do you take lopsided landscape photo commissions?
Oh, man. I will lopside the heck out of any picture that I take.
Last week's episode, that's the first thing that popped up in my feedback, and didn't have to touch the horizon. It was awesome. And this person has been watching the show for over a year, and they are learning. So we're doing something right.
Yay. Everybody should watch it.
I will watch your show when you tell me exactly what I need to do so Google stops asking me to pick a better shot when I take photos. It's so rude.
It knows. It just knows. How does it know? Ant Pruitt, twit.tv/HOP, hands-on photography every week. You should also, by the way, join our Club Twit so you can hang with Ant and the gang in our Discord, which is a wonderful place, a social place to hang out. Jeff even posts there occasionally, as you can see. And Stacy's got her book club coming up. We're going to be reading Clara and the Sun. I can't wait to talk about that. That's next week. This week, actually tomorrow, Alex Lindsay doesn't ask me anything. Now, these are available to everybody in the club, but that's not the only benefit of being a Club Twit member. In fact, we thought the whole thing would be about getting ad-free versions of our shows. So $7 a month, all the shows we do, ad-free. You also get access to the Discord and the Twit Plus feed, which includes shows that we don't release to the general public because we don't yet have the audience or the advertisers to pay for it. So Club Twit members pay for it. That includes the brand new Hands-on Windows with Paul Thurrott, Micah Sargent's Hands-on Mac, the Untitled Linux Show, Jonathan Bennett. We also have the Giz Fizz, Stacy's Book Club. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Discord all the time. Again, those you get individual feeds for all those shows as well if you're a member. So go to twit.tv/clubtwit. It really helps us out. I can't thank you enough, the Club Twit members. You've made it so much fun to be in the club, but also it really helps us financially keep things on.
I asked yesterday on Twitter, are you part of Club Twit? Because I was curious, just who that follows me is part of Club Twit, and man, that thread is still going. So
good.
Thank y'all so much for being a part of Club Twit. It really does warm my heart. I know that.
And people, people know we're ad supported, but we only had 2 ads this week, for instance. I mean, the ads come and ads go, and times are getting tougher. During COVID was, when we really started to struggle a little bit, and that's why we started Club Twit. But it gives us, when we have a surplus, the wherewithal to do additional shows like Hands-on Mac, Hands-on Windows, and so forth. So thank you very much for support at twit.tv/clubtwit. If you want to see this show, you can watch us do it live on Wednesdays, about 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC. The streams, audio and video, are at live.twit.tv. There is a chat room open to all, irc.twit.tv, as well as the Club Twit Discord. After the fact, we put ad-supported versions of the show on our website, twit.tv/twig. There's a YouTube channel dedicated to This Week in Google, and of course, you can always subscribe in your favorite podcast player, and that way you'll get it automatically as soon as it's been edited and processed and polished up for your listening or viewing pleasure. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to Stacey Higginbotham. Stacey on IoT.com. Subscribe to her newsletter. Check out the events. And are you going to do some events soon?
I am going to do a panel at Silicon Valley's Works With event, but
nice.
I am not doing anything.
Nothing on Stacey on IoT.
Nothing right now.
Just the podcast, the IoT podcast.
Yeah, just the podcast and the newsletter.
And all the other stuff. Many, many stories. StaceyOnIoT.com. Thank you, Stacey. Jeff Jarvis is the director of the Townite Center for Entrepreneurial Journalism at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for tolerating me.
Going back to school. That's exciting.
Tomorrow's the business of journalism.
Ooh. Will you put that up on YouTube too?
It already is.
Oh, that I want to see.
It's there.
Yeah. That, not just the history of media, which I will watch, but also the business. I think that's...
No, you don't need to watch it.
You know more about that than anybody. Thank you, Jeff.
If only.
Ant Pruitt.
Ant Pruitt.
We already mentioned hands-on photography. Thank you for being here. You're the best.
Thanks for having me.
You're the best. We will be back next week. I hope you will too. I'm Leo Laporte. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Hey, I'm Rod Pyle, editor of Ad Astra Magazine, and each week I'm joined by Tarek Malik, the editor-in-chief over at Space.com, in our new This Week in Space podcast. Every Friday, Tarek and I take a deep dive into the stories that define the new space age. What's NASA up to? When will Americans once again set foot on the moon? And how about those samples from the Perseverance rover? When are those coming home? What the heck has Elon Musk done now? In addition to all the latest and greatest in space exploration, we'll take an occasional look at bits of spaceflight history that you probably never heard of, and all with an eye towards having a good time along the way. Check us out on your favorite podcatcher.